Chapter 863. Only Him. Chapter 863. Only Him. Proofreader, Papatonks. A family of three was seen walking down the bustling street. The picture of happiness Zhuofan and Shangwan Xingyan held Gu Santong's hand between them. The image of the parents taking their child to play earned the jealousy of many, especially from bachelors, and even more so from a certain shadow from a certain corner. Gnashing his teeth with bloodshot eyes, Shangwan Feixiong had them go out to gather info, since everyone else was too conspicuous with their build and aura. The Flying Cloud City's guards would find them on the spot, being in the Radiant Stage and Ethereal Stage. The lovely family blended naturally in the urban jungle, raising no eyebrows and no warning. Even the Shangwan Yulin, a fresh soul harmony stage cultivator, found nothing wrong with this picture. The four of them thus went out as scouts, making it look easy. Which it was, since no one minded a few ants. They acted on two fronts, Shangwan Yulin in the shadows, while the family in the open, which was the only choice since Zhuofan was recorded to be the owner of that house. Shangwan Yulin was a vagrant, and while the patrol might ignore his cultivation, the papers showed he wasn't on them. So, what could an undeclared bachelor suppose to do? Slunk from the shadows with tears of jealousy streaming down his cheeks at others' happiness. Dad, that one. Here. Auntie, I want one. Here. Dad, Annie, I want everything. Give me all of them. Zhuofan and Shangwan Xingyan looked quite happy holding Gu Santong's hands. Only Shangwan Yulin was their complete opposite. The worst thing wasn't seeing the person he admired being with another man, but being unable to block it. This helplessness was driving Shangwan Yulin nuts. Who told him to be a vagrant anyway? All that a shadow could do was just bottle it up. Dang. The sudden sounds of a gong captured the people's attention, and the family of three approached the source. It was an announcement, with a soul harmony stage guard banging the gong with all gathered. The man hemmed before announcing, "People of Flying Cloud City, take heed, a message from the imperial capital. Sword Star Empire's best talent, His Highness the Crown Prince, has suffered from cultivation deviation, and his Dantian is ruined. Countless alchemists had lent a hand, but nothing they did helped. Now we are welcoming any and all alchemists from all over to the imperial capital to consult. If any of you have the skills, you can report to the Flying Cloud Manor. After careful screening, we will then recommend you to imperial capital. Whether you can heal Crown Prince or not, your future will be assured. Don't let this chance pass you by." The crowd's eyes shone with ambition in the central area. There were no sects, only the Sword Star Empire ruling supreme. Getting a job in the imperial capital would set them for life. Whispers spread around, with many looking excited, like they were bound to win. Zhuofan just squinted and thought, whether the Crown Prince's situation is real or not, it's also a great chance to slip into Flying Cloud Manor. Getting an early grasp of the terrain and assets would make his mission that much easier. Cousin. Shangwan Xingyan looked excited, but she didn't speak before making sure there was no one around. "We've been walking for a while now. Let's go back. Young Sanzi must be tired." Eyeing her, Zhuofan knew exactly what she wanted. To report, Zhuofan nodded, and they went back. A sudden shadow flashed by them after a few steps, vanishing them from the street and taking them into a dark corner. Shangwan Xingyan asked, "Cousin, you go back with the child. I need Brother Gu for a moment." Shangwan Yulin was tense. "I saw some people from Flying Cloud Manor moving around in secret, but I can't do much as I am. I want Brother Gu to cover for me to investigate." Shangwan Xingyan took it at face value and nodded. "All right, but you have to stay safe, cousin. You must bring Sir Gu back safely. He's just a Radiant Stage cultivator. Anyone can beat him. Don't worry, cousin. He'll be back safe and sound." With resentment in his eyes, Shangwan Yulin put on a smile. Shangwan Xingyan chuckled, while Zhuofan could read more into it, though too curious about his plan to expose him. Shangwan Xingyan took Gu Santong back, while Shangwan Yulin grabbed Zhuofan's arm toward the forest with a brutal gaze. Flying Cloud Manor is recruiting alchemists. Shangwan Xingyan started at the news, then turned serious. "Yenner, is this true?" Shangwan Xingyan nodded, blurting, "Yes, the whole street heard it." "Then it must be real." Shangwan Feixiong's eyes flashed. "This is our best chance to get into the manor. But what if it's a trap? Shangguan Feixiong then looked around. Where's Yulin? Cousin found clues into the manor and wanted Gu Yifan to cover for him. Yulin has always been level-headed. He must have his reasons for doing this. Gu Yifan will be fine with him. Shangguan Feixiong squinted, mulling over this information before walking outside. He went to a familiar room, where the three old men sat bowing. Shangguan Feixiong made his report and added, I'm yet unclear if this is a chance or a trap. Danger and opportunity often walk hand in hand. An elder spoke. Regardless, this is our chance to scout the manor. It's far better than going in head first. We lost too many last time, with even your daughter suffering a heavy wound, threatening her life. We shouldn't have taken the kids with us. Shangguan Feiyun shook his head. Venerable, the Shangguan clan isn't afraid of death, nor are we conceited. The same goes for my daughter. I brought them along because Shangguan Feiyun doesn't know them, but can keep a lookout for us. Last time they followed our trail and attacked our base, scattering the kids. But this time we're thorough and won't be as dangerous. I hope so. The elder sighed. We were indifferent to having them at first, coming to the central area with the intent to take the divine weapon even in death. But they're still young. They're the future of the eastern lands. I can't bear to see them go. Shangguan Feixiong nodded. Another elder spoke. Second, none of us can leave if we want to now. Why talk about it then? Our goal is to find where the divine weapon is located. The fact that it recruits alchemists is a chance for us, regardless of anything. But who can we entrust with infiltrating the manor? None of us can go, since even after 100 years since Shangguan Feiyun left Eastern Lands, he'd still remember us. No matter how we try to hide, he'll find us. Shangguan Feixiong frowned. That means we can only give it to a junior. But who among them has the alchemical skills to get into the manor? The men shook their heads. Our clan has many talents in cultivation, but none in alchemy. Yeah, alchemy is related to cultivation, skill, and arts to become a grandmaster. The elder sighed. Alchemists will flock to Flying Cloud Manor with this announcement. Without the power of a soul harmony stage, it's difficult to stand out. We can only have Yulin try. Shangguan Feixiong muttered. The three elders nodded helplessly. He may not be an alchemist. He's the only choice among the juniors. Chapter 864, 50-Mile Plan. Chapter 864, 50-Mile Plan. Proofreader, Papatonks. Does that mean the Crown Prince's situation is a lie? In a wide and lavish hall, sparkling with wealth, a handsome man sat in the seat of honor. With a teacup in hand, his eyes crackled with lightning as he looked at the seat left of him. The calm and smiling youth, there looked like even a slight breeze would topple him. Lacking the bold air, man would have, though his eyes told another story, making the middle-aged man turn serious and not disregard him. Prime Minister, sir, what act are you enacting? With a wide grin, the youth turned to the seat of honor. That would be my line, Sword King Feiyun. 2 months ago, there was some loud ruckus coming from the hundreds of experts entering the manor. Why is it that the Sword King didn't inform the imperial capital? One of them was the best in Eastern Lands, now turned traitor Shangguan Feiyun, and the other Sword Star Empire's Prime Minister, Bailey Jingwei. One of the very few able to wield power equal to 9 Sword Kings, Bailey Jingwei came from the very distant imperial capital and straight to Flying Cloud Manor. The moment he entered, he ordered the guards to announce alchemist recruitment for the Crown Prince's situation. Now, he was saying it was all fake. Shangguan Feiyun was pissed, to say the least, as well as the youth. Ordering everyone around like this was his own home. Hey, I get to the Prime Minister, but then you come on my turf and start barking orders to my men. It was fine if it was critical, but this here was some baffling ploy, and the suddenness of it all, and without a word, made him feel that he was played with. Anyone would be angry at this point. Just some minor vermin I had to deal with. There was no need in forming the imperial capital of this trifle. Shangguan Feiyun eyed him coldly, then looked to the right seat. By telling the imperial capital all that crops up will make the 9 Sword Kings look incompetent. Wouldn't you say so, Brother Danxing? Drinking from a yellow gourd without a care. At Shangguan Feiyun's question, the man stopped drinking, belching. Danxing Shun rubbed his red nose, feeling tipsy. Brother Feiyun, This is between you and Prime Minister Bailey, not me. You guys talk it out and don't involve me. I'm just an escort. I still have to get Prime Minister to Imperial Capital safely. Haha. Thank you, Dragon Cleaving Sword King, but I'm sure the trip will be quiet and won't disturb you. Bailey Jingwei leaned a bit and nodded before turning to the host. Shangwan Fiyun, don't mince words. If those were but small thieves 2 months ago, why is it that the guards are looking tense and silent? Why else would you have asked Dragon, Cleaving Sword King, for protection? Shangwan Fiyun's eyes shook, his mood sinking. Bailey Jingwei stood up and smiled. Sword King and I are more than clear that it was the Shangwan clan who was behind it. Their goal is to take back the same treasure you brought from Eastern lands, the Soaring Sword. Patriarch had long since wanted to gather the other area's divine swords. Sword King's feat is truly commendable. Patriarch would be most pleased at the news. Taking Patriarch's stead, allow me to bow to you, Sword King. Thank you for donating the sword. Bailey Jingwei bowed to Shangwan Fiyun. Shangwan Fiyun's eyes shook, somewhat touched by the perfect bow of the youth. Bailey Jingwei stood up with a flat look. However, Patriarch is in seclusion and is unaware of this matter, needing me to take the sword. Wouldn't Patriarch's joy plunge, knowing that in this time the divine sword ended up stolen? He would surely explode. Humph! Are you using the invincible sword to threaten me? Shangwan Fiyun slammed the table and shouted. Bailey Jingwei shook his head with a sigh. The Patriarch himself appointed Sword King Fiyun as a Sword King, together with the imperial family. This is not my intention at all. I'm only extrapolating. When Patriarch is angry, it won't be just a Sword King affected, but the entire empire. I only ask for help in the matter of the Crown Prince. He cannot set foot outside, his grave situation having spread to the entire central area, all to help the Sword King remove all thieves and secure the divine sword. It affects both of us, and cooperation is most advised. Eyeing him, Shangwan Fiyun pondered as his rage subsided. What good would spreading this do? They're no fools to fall for it and attack Flying Cloud Manor. Ha ha ha, it's all right, Sword King. I'm certain that, as we screen alchemists, we'll be trapping the Shangwan thieves. Snickering, Bailey Jingwei's eyes flashed. People don't do crime out of stupidity, but out of greed. Greed is humanity's most base trait. None can escape its clutches. I know from their first ambush of the manor, they suffered heavy casualties. The second ambush would fail if they come without a plan, but it will also make it less likely to end them all, so it's better to give them a chance to slip in, luring them with a sword by screening alchemists. Once they come, we will trap them like rats, with none coming out alive. This will cripple the power of Eastern lands by damaging the top clan. It will prove beneficial for our future advancement into Eastern lands. Shangwan Fiyun looked at him hard and nodded. Prime Minister wants not just the soaring sword, but to take precautions for when you attack Eastern lands. Ha ha ha, didn't I tell you? Greed is the basest trait of humans, one that even I can't escape from. Bailey Jingwei's eyes glinted with wisdom. This is the perfect moment to shoot 2 birds with 1 stone. Shangwan Fiyun nodded. I am in awe of Prime Minister's wisdom. But the Shangwan clan has no alchemists. Will they take the bait? It's because it doesn't fit them, which makes it more real and enticing. Bailey Jingwei said, worry not. Paving the way to people in crisis will only scare them away. The harder the journey, the more they'll consider it. Sir Sword King, I ask that you give me the power to command the guards, loosen security, and recall patrols. I promise by this time next fortnight, all the rats will be found and removed. Shangwan Fiyun gave his accord. Bailey Jingwei showed a pleased smile. Sir Sword King, I heard the manor has a true marvel, no less than the imperial capital's ringing thunder temple. May I see it? Prime Minister, you're most welcome. The guard will take you. Shangwan Fiyun nodded. Bailey Jingwei bowed and walked. Thank you. Dragon Cleaving Sword King, don't you want to look as well? Ha ha ha. I'm only into books, painting, and wine. Prime Minister may enjoy himself alone. Bailey Jingwei turned to Danxing Shun, who waved him off as he drank. Bailey Jingwei shook his head and left. Ha ha ha. What a shame. Books and paintings are tied to marvels of nature. When he was gone, Shangwan Fiyun squinted and sighed. Brother Danxing, See that? Look how much Bailey Jingwei and even the imperial capital revere us. And now look at all the spies they placed around. The minute something happens, the imperial capital is bound to know it the next. Humph, and they call us Nine Sword Kings. We're nothing more than generals in the army. Dan Shun shook his head and sighed. It doesn't matter how many spies are there as long as I can keep it safe. I never pegged you for an idealist, wanting to build utopia. I didn't follow Invincible Sword for an insipid and useless title like Sword King, but to stand next to the strongest to find my own land. Shangguan Feiyun's eyes flashed. The day will come when I'll wield the soaring sword and rule Eastern lands. Dan Shun put down the wine and mocked. Eastern lands' ruler? Don't let fantasy consume you. The day will come when the whole world will be sword star empires. We'll be nothing more than some governor of a slice at the most, not rulers. That's you. Shangguan Feiyun glared at him. I won't, absolutely won't. Chapter 865, Backstab. Chapter 865, Backstab. Proofreader, Papatonks. Whoosh. Deep in a thick forest, two shadows cut through the trees, before finally stopping and revealing their features. One, looking imposing and having sharp features, with soul harmony stage aura, was Shangguan Yulin. The other, looking plain yet having deep eyes, was Zhuo Fan looking ahead. Zhuo Fan feigned puzzlement when seeing the bamboo. Cousin, what's odd here? I can't see anything out of place. Who the hell's your cousin? This rotten bastard knows only how to claw his way up through another's power. That's why she fell for his fancy speech. Shangguan Yulin rolled his eyes, but didn't show his anger. Brother Gu, when I watched the guards, I thought I saw them pass through here. I couldn't look alone, so I brought you along. If you meet them, just say you're here for the view. Ha ha ha. Really? But I don't see any signs of people around. Zhuo Fan frowned. His eyes darting around, Shangguan Yulin pushed him lightly with a vile smile as he enticed. Look ahead, there's definitely some guards here. Go see what they're doing and help report to Uncle for merit. Then I shall. Zhuo Fan took slow steps walking forward. Shangguan Yulin, however, did the opposite, getting some distance and watching Zhuo with a cold gaze. There was even some bloodthirst mixed in there. Who? Shangguan Yulin sent a sudden palm to Zhuo Fan's back. Zhuo Fan cried out. He knew Shangguan Yulin was up to something, but not so soon. He wasn't the only one in this, but the entire Shangguan clan's safety would be affected. If something happened to the Gu family of Flying Cloud City, the manor would definitely investigate it. Next was obvious, fleeing like rats, especially now when they were at their weakest. Shangguan Yulin was no moron to not realize the consequences. Zhuo Fan frowned, stuck in hesitation, to dodge or not. Dodging would expose his level, and he might have to silence the kid. But he'd also had to make up a damn good excuse to avoid Shangguan clan suspicion. The other option, how was he to react if it hit? As a radiant stage, ethereal stage, or soul harmony stage cultivator? Well, his body was as tough as a soul harmony expert. Now, the problem wasn't the hit, but what came after. Well, he'd just wing it. If found out, killing him is still on the table. Zhuo Fan's vexation was unrelated to his safety, but his reaction. Shangguan Yulin would have been so pissed if he knew he was a strong and outstanding member of the Shangguan clan's younger generation, widely known throughout Eastern lands. Now this pipsqueak didn't give a whit about the backstab, but how to fool him instead. The fact he entertained the thought of silencing him as well was what really took the cake. How conceited can you get? Not that it mattered, since it was all hypothetical. Who? Zhuo Fan looked stunned for a moment, then reacted, sensing the biting wind on his back. It won't take the life of a radiant stage cultivator, as it is. He's not out to kill me at least, but wound me. Let's play along. And then Zhuo Fan made a plan and struck his body, giving himself a flesh wound and showing some blood from his mouth. Only then did Shangguan Yulin's palm strike. Bam. At least he got the timing right, spitting blood right as the attack hit, and crumbling on the ground and feigned faint snickering like a fox. Shangguan Yulin muttered, "Damn bastard. I warned you to stay away from my cousin. You brought this on yourself, humph." Shangguan Yulin walked over to Zhuo Fan, his right hand growing cold, sensing the chill behind him. Zhuo Fan was stumped. What's he trying to do now? Punk, don't think for a second that by being the Shangguan clan's cover, no one will touch you. With a cold glint in his eyes, Shangwan Yulin lifted his icy hand with a creepy grin. We may need you for cover and can't kill you, but that doesn't mean we can't hurt you. This crippling hand of mine is nothing fancy, but at least it leaves no tracks. I just need to press your major pressure points, and your meridians will rot. In 10 days, your yuan qi flow will fall. In 20 days, your cultivation will plunge. In a month, you'll be a full-fledged cripple. And the best part, you'll never know why. A cripple, even as part of the Shangwan clan, will have no right to be around cousin. Humph, what a joke, haha. There's still clues leading to today, though. Aren't you scared Shangwan Feixiong will notice your rotten character and won't let his daughter around you? A heavy and gruff voice entered his ears, not even that worked to wipe the smug smile off Shangwan Yulin's face. As if since I thought it through. The punk didn't see who struck him. I'll just say we met with a patrol, and in the fight, he was backstabbed before bringing him back. Uncle might doubt his crippled status, but will think it had something to do with today's wound. He'll never place the blame on me. Haha dash, wait, who are you? Shangwan Yulin's laughter got stuck in his throat. Who said that? Hi, kid, seeing you so devious, petty, greedy, immoral, and cocky, you're right in tune with my demonic path. Why not leave the Shangwan clan and join me down the path of evil? Whoosh! A shadow shrouded the sky, turning everything pitch black and cutting Shangwan Yulin off from reality. Shangwan Yulin panicked. Domain soul. But then he mocked. You think you can contend with me, a soul harmony expert, by using a domain in the ethereal stage? Ha, you wish. I'll break it with this punch. Shangwan Yulin did just that dragon trapping chain. The voice came before he could finish the attack. Whoosh. Something huge slithered around his body and seeped into his body, and blocking his yuan qi in place, a great power fell on him, stopping him from even budging. Shangwan Yulin, a soul harmony expert, found himself trapped and cried, what is this? Hi, kid, the world is far and wide. Not all ethereal stage cultivators are weaker than soul harmony cultivators. You're too cocky. The creepy voice echoed around, filling Shangwan Yulin with fear. Who is he? How does he have such a strange skill? This never happened before. No soul harmony expert ended up trapped by a mere ethereal stage cultivator's domain. Soul Shangwan Yulin's heart shivered with dread. Looking around, all he saw was darkness, and the unknown only fed his fears while he was blind as a bat. The other side saw clearly, smirking at Shangwan Yulin being squeezed by the chain. Zhuofan's eyes flashed with a toying gaze. His voice was gruff. Kid, I find your wretched and debased style reminding me of my olden days. Those were the days. I'll make an exception and take you in, so kowtow 100 times and call me master. Ha. Chapter 866, Play. Chapter 866, Play. Proofreader, Papatonks. 100. Shangwan Yulin's face twitched in anger as he snapped. In your dreams, do you have any idea who I am? I am the best genius in Shangwan clan, of ultimate honor. Why the hell would I bow to you? Ha. Kid has some spunk. Zhuofan mocked from the shadows. I know everything about you, how many you are and where you're hiding. I'm not scared of Shangwan Feixiong, let alone a kid like you. Humph, having you kowtow is my way of appreciating you. But since you don't want to, Zhuofan paused for effect. Bam. A huge dragon tail lashed at his cheek, leaving a red welt with blood seeping from his mouth. There were even some teeth mixed with the blood. Clattering to the ground, pain assaulted his senses. With half his face double, the other Shangwan Yulin shuddered, his eyes tearing, his mouth shivering. What are you doing? Why did you hit me? Humph, you have the nerve to ask why. Zhuofan snickered. I've always been conceited, looking down on every youth who wanted to learn from me. Now that I found a good seed, you actually dare refuse me? Bam! Another tail lash struck the other cheek, and relieving him of a few more teeth, lips quivering. Shangwan Yulin's heart was against it. Shangwan Yulin, appreciate your care, but I can't accept it. I'm part of the Shangwan clan. Bam! Zhuofan kept lashing his face with glee. Cut the crap. I want you. You should be honored, but instead you turn me down. Of course I'll hit you. Ha. Bang. A dozen lashes later, Shangguan Yulin was seeing stars, tears falling like a river. What did I do to deserve this? All I wanted was to get the goo guy here and cripple him. But I didn't even get to do that as I stumbled into the devil who wants me as his disciple. He knew he was amazing, from all the seniors wanting him as well, but he was born from a great and righteous clan. How could he fall so low as to become a demon's disciple? I don't even know what his status is in his faction. Won't I lose out trading glory for being some commander's disciple? If I go from Eastern Land's best clan's future inheritor to some nobody devil's disciple, who do I blame then? Not like he had a choice. The devil had him trapped and leashed. He wasn't long for this world if he kept this up. Senior, tell me your request, and I will brave hell or high water in achieving it. Please release. No, I want you as a disciple. Refuse and I'll just kill you. Ha ha. Shangguan Yulin cried bitter tears over his swollen face, pleading for his life. Zhua Fan laughed at his expense, shouting and demanding instead. Shangguan Yulin's heart was in despair. Why am I so amazing to earn the attention of this devil? Fame has its price, and now I have to pay for my greatness. As Shangguan Yulin's face was being flung from side to side, he had the time for a flight of fancy, actually taking pride in it in the end. Shangguan Yulin couldn't take it anymore and sighed, forcing himself to say, "Fine, since Senior cherishes me so, I will concede." Bang! The lashes came still. Zhua Fan didn't seem to hear over the loud smacks. "Hey, Senior, I give up. Why are you still hitting me?" With his face swollen bigger than an overripe melon, Shangguan Yulin cried out as the strikes continued to fall on his numb face. Zhua Fan finally reacted. Did you say something? My ears aren't as sharp as they used to." "Screw you." Shangguan Yulin lashed out in his mind. "You clearly heard since you replied. Goddamn playing with me." But as a hostage, he had to play his part and hung his head since he said his ears were bad. Then he'd have to speak louder, obviously. "Master, I pay respects to you. Please stop." "What? You want me as your master?" "Ha ha, that's great." Bam! With not a single intention of stopping the dragon tail lashing, actually growing in strength instead, Zhua Fan himself joined the punishment with his Qilin arm, sending heavy punches to his gut until blood spurted from his mouth. Face twitching constantly, Shangguan Yulin wailed, "Master, I wish to be under you, so why do you still strike me?" "Oh, your master is a great demonic cultivator and loves thrashing people from joy." Zhua Fan toyed with him. "With such an amazing talent, so eager to be learning from me. The excitement got to me. Since there's no one around, I'll use you to calm my overstimulated heart." Shangguan Yulin's face was twitching like there was no tomorrow. "Geezer, I get you want to pummel me, so why make up such lame excuses? Though sensible enough not to voice it. This coot is insane. If he thrashes people when excited, what about in anger? Will he flay them alive? Anywho, he'd rather not test that theory. Master, don't hit me. You might beat me to death too if you're too excited." Zhua Fan sneered and sighed. "Oh, being in my domain, you couldn't sense that the guy you hit woke up a while ago and left. That left only you to beat up." "What?" Shangguan Yulin shuddered in anger. He wanted to ruin Zhua Fan, but instead the punk got away while he instead ended up suffering at the hand of this freak. What did I ever do to deserve this? Shangguan Yulin howled. "Master, how could you let him go? He's too weak. What was I supposed to do with him? But you're going to wear my mantle, ha." Zhua Fan laughed and gave 2 slaps and another overexcited punch to Shangguan Yulin's chest, caving in. "It always gets my blood going just thinking about it. I just have to punch something." Blood and gore spurted from Shangguan Yulin's mouth. He paled like paper and his face swelled up more. If that was even possible, Shangguan Yulin's face twitched again, out of habit perhaps, as he wailed and pleaded, "Master, do you want me as a disciple or one to toy around with? You're going to end up killing me." "Oh, oops, I just can't control myself in all the excitement." Zhua Fan coughed. "I'm sure you know by now that all demonic cultivators have their peculiar hobbies. I've had mine for far too long now, or I would have gotten a disciple ages ago. With such love taps, all your disciples would end up dead." With the flogging finally ended, Shangguan Yulin sighed, slumping weakly with hatred. goddamn lunatic. Zhuo let him off, seeing him so worn out, but his play had yet to finish. That only leaves 100 kowtows, and that should do for ceremony. Kowtow still. Shangguan Yulin was so bitter, he hardly spoke. Zhuo raged. You won't? Does that mean you don't want to be my disciple? Then, I'm doing it, look. Shangguan Yulin waved his hands around, frantic, but before he could start, he asked, Master, they say 3 bows to the elders and 4 to those who passed. Shouldn't it be just 3 then? Why would Sir want 100 then? Oh, nice thinking. Zhuo grinned. The 3 are for me, of course, while the rest are for your late departed senior brothers. To watch over you, so you won't follow in their footsteps. 1 for each one should appease their spirits. You drove 97 disciples to death already. Shangguan Yulin's eyes rolled in his head, blanking out from fear. The black domain faded, and Zhuo revealed his mocking smile, his grin turning devious as he watched his puppet. Chapter 867, Degenerate Demon. Chapter 867, Degenerate Demon. Proofreader, Papatonks. On a pitch-black night, the black clouds drifted away, revealing a round moon that shone its graceful light upon the cold land, and the unmoving man upon a closer look. He was covered in wounds. His clothes were in tatters, his face so swollen only a mother would recognize him. His brows quivered as the moonlight stirred him, opening his hazy eyes. Where am I? Why am I? Confusion laced his gaze from his unsettled mind, but then it all came pouring in. He sat quickly and darted his eyes all over in panic. Where's that sicko? Where is he? He looked around, but there was no one around except for him. The man nodded for some reason, muttering to himself. It was all just an illusion. Yes, that's it. There's no sicko, and that never happened. It was just one horrible nightmare. Ha ha ha. Pa. His crazed and delusional justification came to an abrupt halt as a stone grazed his most sensitive and swollen face, slamming him into the ground. The flood of pain brought him to tears, his mouth quivering. Hey, disciple, who are you calling a sicko? A most familiar and dreaded voice came from the darkness. The man shuddered, but he actually remained silent. That's the old demon's voice. The nightmare is real. The devil is still here. Eyes twitching, Shangguan Yulin wailed in tears. Master, I would never. I was only referring to the people of Flying Cloud Manor. Those old freaks suck at even being guards. How could they let just anyone into the city? Shangguan Yulin wailed while making excuses as his voice trailed off. Growing so tiny no one could hear him, he just dumped all his hatred on the guards. What the hell is wrong with you? You call yourself guards, and yet you let this sicko disturb public peace? It not once occurred to him that if security was that tight, Shangguan clan had no way of getting in from the shadow. Zhuo listened with a laugh. Oh, disciple, so you're cursing the guards. They sure deserve it. They ignore their duties and let anyone in. Haha, Zhuo continued. However, thanks to their sloppy attitude, we got to slip in, no? This is where a Sword King is stationed, you know? Shangguan Yulin flushed, knowing fully well the old guy was mocking him. But his mouth remained shut. Seeing you all worn out, we'll leave the 100 kowtows aside for now. Shangguan Yulin lit up in joy. Really? Thank you, master. Thank you, A total discrepancy from the hatred he felt in his heart. This decrepit geezer. I won't take a sicko like him as master ever, even if I would have been put to bow 100 times. The minute I get to uncle, you're dead to me. And if I catch you around me again, I'll sick people on you to skin you alive, flay your flesh, and break your bones. Zhuo could easily see through those crocodile tears, making a most devious grin. While the ceremony will be on hold for now, we're now master and disciple. Don't you ever forget that. Yes, master, absolutely. Shangguan Yulin bobbed his head with a fake smile. Zhuo laughed and shook his head. Do you really think I'll believe that, disciple? That'll make all those centuries roaming the world for nothing. No, master, you have to believe me. I'm serious about having you as my master. My vow shall never be broken. Shangguan Yulin panicked as he explained. Zhuo mocked. It's fine. I'm not that easy to fool, and I came prepared. Now, take your shirt off. What do you want to do? Shangguan Yulin froze, on high alert. The sicko's first twisted hobby was enough as it is. Who knows if he doesn't have any others even worse than this? Zhuo Fan chuckled. Easy now, disciple. I am a great demonic cultivator, but I won't ever swing that way. Also, why would I have waited so long if I had that intention to begin with? Shangguan Yulin paused for a moment before realizing it as well. So he complied, seeing his perfect body riddled with wounds. Shangguan Yulin's hatred grew hotter. This is all this sicko's fault. Try using Yuan Qi. Zhuo Fan said. Shangguan Yulin did as he was told, and on his caved-in chest, 2 words in golden letters appeared: Degenerate Demon. Shangguan Yulin looked gobsmacked. He pointed at his chest with a dumb look, stammering, What is this? Ah, disciple. The demonic path has always been unpopular, so anyone who becomes my disciple needs to have these words engraved on them as a reminder. So you'll never lower yourself again, nor get trapped in lofty dreams. Zhuo Fan laughed. You'll soon leave with me and strike out in the world. You're best off forgetting everything about inheriting the Shangguan clan. There's no way they'll let someone with such words on their chest lead the Shangguan clan. They're too renowned for that. Shangguan Yulin's eyes twitched, about to explode in anger. Master, you've ruined me. I only ever wanted the supreme glory of the Shangguan clan. We can even rule it together, but please don't take everything from me. Share, you say? Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. You're serious? Shangguan Yulin bobbed his head. Yes, of course, as long as I get to lead Shangguan clan, then half of it will be yours as my master. You truly know how to return favors. I bet your uncle would be fuming if he heard you. But I like it, ha ha ha. Zhuo Fan made a sign, and the gaudy golden letters faded from Shangguan Yulin's chest. Shangguan Yulin perked up a bit too soon, though, as Zhuo Fan's icy tone came right after. Remember your words, disciple. You are to follow my every word from now on, or else it won't be as easy as letters appearing on your chest next time. Maybe your life will expire. Shangguan Yulin shuddered, but looked confused. Why did those words appear? Ha ha ha. That's because I gave you a blood curse. Zhuo Fan snickered. As you saw, the words popped on your chest the minute you used Yuan Qi. What you don't know is that in 15 minutes you would have been splattered everywhere if I hadn't kept the blood curse in check with my signs. Panicking, Shangguan Yulin's eyes bugged out. No way. Ha ha, yes way. You just became my disciple and have no idea what I'm capable of. Now do you understand how your 97 senior brothers passed? Humph. Zhuo Fan squinted. Press the sacred pool pressure point on your right hand and use Yuan Qi. Shangguan Yulin did just that. He heard a bang then, and his right arm exploded in a golden pillar of flames, followed by the breaking of his meridian. Blood dripped on the ground as the hand now hung limp. He was now in extreme shock. He never thought this old freak would be so brutal, planting a bomb in him to detonate at any second. Zhuo Fan grinned at his dumb look. The golden flame shows I'm going easy on you. If it were the black flame, then the second it appeared, losing your hand would be the least of your problems. Then again, even this display was only a fraction of the golden flame's power. If you don't listen, Master, I'll do everything you say, no questions asked. Please show mercy and release the blood curse. Shangguan Yulin was looking afraid now, starting to slam his head on the ground without Zhuo Fan's urging. Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed. Good. Now tell me everything about Shangguan clan and why you have come to Flying Cloud City. Pausing, Shangguan Yulin sighed after some hesitation. Chapter 868. Entrusted/Charged. Chapter 868. Entrusted/Charged. Proofreader, Papatonks. I see. So Eastern Land's divine weapon, Soaring Sword, was brought to Eastern Lands by Shangguan Fiyun. Zhuo Fan nodded after he finished. So that's why Shangguan clan left home. It was all to get the Eastern Land's treasure back. Looking at the black void around him, Shangguan Yulin found a shadow of Zhuo Fan. Master, you said you knew everything, so does it look like you just found out? You talk too much. Zhuo Fan glared. You only need to answer my question. Try to hide anything, and when I'll find out. I know. I will never lie to you. Shangguan Yulin bobbed his head while cussing on the inside. The old coot is so sly. With how he acts, I don't have any chance of hiding anything. The minute I do, he'll activate that golden flame he stuck in me and blow me sky high. Shangguan Yulin sighed. This marks the beginning of my betrayal of the Shangguan clan. Zhou Fan had since known him to be twisted inside. That was why he believed he wasn't a zealot for the clan, choosing self-preservation over glory. That made his words believable, turning him into a usable young master. Zhou Fan probed. What if I wanted you to get me the soaring sword? Will you give your life for the Shangguan clan, or offer me the sword? Master, why do you even ask? My life is in Sir's hands. Of course, I'll give you the sword for my life. Shangguan Yulin sighed. Zhou Fan had a hard look, but then laughed. Ha ha ha. Great, in a compromise, kid. It brings me relief knowing this as I charge you with an important task. Shangguan Yulin asked, what task? Zhou Fan shook his head. I'll contact you when the time is right. Until then, you are to play your part in the Shangguan clan, to make sure there are no incidents. I'll notify you when I'm ready. That will be your glorious achievement for your master's sake. Yes, master. He'd rather not, but it wasn't like he had a choice. He bowed and cupped his hands. The tranquility of the forest was the only reply. Looking around, Shangguan Yulin tested. Master? Are you there? The night breeze blew by. Curses. Did he really leave? Shangguan Yulin took a deep breath, depression evident on his face. Just what did he do to deserve this fate? Why him? How could he become a turncoat just like that and become some devil's toy? All he could do was hang his head and trudge along dejectedly until the devil whispered in his ear. After the cruel ceremony to be the devil's disciple, he still had no idea what he was. He lost big this time. He only came to take care of his love rival, yet ended up with him being some sicko's puppet instead. Shangguan Yulin teared up again with a beaten look. Shangguan Yulin dragged his weary body as the night wind grazed his swollen face as he faded out into the night. Zhou Fan faded in. At the same spot, looking at the poor sap of a young master, Zhou Fan smirked. I finally got myself a usable pawn. I no longer have to be part of the audience, but actually flip the board. Haha. Zhou Fan left with one final laugh. Meanwhile, in the parlor of Gu household, the face of Shangguan Feixiong on the main seat shone in the light of candles. He was frowning, focusing on the entrance with a heavy look. Shangguan Qingyan paced around the parlor, looking nervous and restless, a stark contrast to the young child sitting there with a toy in his hands, cheerfully playing thump. The two's eyes snapped up to see a Shangguan clan guard rushing in. Well, are they back yet? Shangguan Qingyan asked. First, the guard bowed with a sigh. Young Miss, clan head, young master, and Sir Gu have yet to return. You may go. A Shangguan Feixiong's gesture. The man withdrew. Shangguan Qingyan complained. Just where did cousin take Sir Gu? What's taking them so long? Dad, tell me they're all right. Shangguan Feixiong frowned in thought, shaking his head. Young Sanzi, aren't you worried since your dad is late? Shangguan Qingyan turned to the carefree child playing with the toy. She knew the father and son were very close, sticking to each other like glue. So why was it the kid showed no care when his dad went missing? It made no sense. Gu Santong glanced at her, not stopping his playing for her sake. My dad is too great for something to happen to him. Even if it does, it's the other side who'll suffer. What do you mean by that? Shangguan Qingyan was baffled. Gu Santong had a vague smile on his face in reply. It only worked to puzzle this young missy to the extreme. Hurried footsteps were heard as a guard barged in with a cheerful cry. Clan head, young miss, young master is back. Truly, Shangguan Feixiong shot to his feet and walked for the door. With Shangguan Qingyan right behind him, they didn't get far, as Shangguan Yulin's wretched figure and swollen face entered the parlor with a casual step. The two were stunned, scanning Shangguan Yulin's remaining obvious facial features and crying in shock. Who are you? See? I told you it's unclear who had incidents. Humph? Gu Santong was still in his seat and glanced over with a sneer as he played on. Shangguan Yulin's mouth quivered, looking at his uncle and cousin with a heavy heart. Seeing them so happy, he was choking on his words. Uncle, cousin, I'm back. Why, you're Yulin? Still incredulous, Shangguan Feixiong stammered. The guard explained. Clan head, he is indeed young master. He just came back and had us all jump. But we knew him from his aura. Shangguan Feixiong finally took notice of the air around the swollen head, finally putting a name to this strange face. What shocked him wasn't that, though. What happened? Why are you like this? What about Sergu? Where is he? Wasn't he with you? Shangguan Qingyin asked. Shangguan Yulin's face fell, his anger spiking. Cousin, you're my kin, yet instead of asking about me, you worry about someone else? Am I that insignificant to you? Shangguan Yulin felt wronged, remaining silent. This had Shangguan Qingyin growing frantic. Cousin, where's Sergu? Didn't I tell you to watch over him? Why are you returning perfectly fine while he's missing? Shangguan Yulin shook, on the point of spewing blood. Fine? Cousin, does anything about me look perfectly fine to you? I just came back from an encounter with a patrol, but seeing me so roughed up, they pitted me and didn't interrogate me. You call that perfectly fine? Why do you only care about him? What's going on between you two? We're you to each other. Shangguan Yulin's heart was crushed, wanting to howl at the sky. Only his uncle's presence stopped him. Did cousin come back yet? Cries were heard from outside, and soon, Zhua Fan's figure rushed in. He looked drenched and tense as he asked quickly, Uncle, cousin just left me. Shangguan Feixiong's face twitched, looking from him to the unrecognizable Shangguan Yulin. They shook their heads. What did they do anyway? Chapter 869, Shadow Emperor. Chapter 869, Shadow Emperor. Proofreader, Papatonks. Sighing, Shangguan Feixiong pointed at the youth with a warped face. Yulin is already back. He's standing right here. That's cousin. Looking shocked at Shangguan Yulin next to him, Zhua Fan's eyes shook in disbelief. But then he changed tunes to, while there's no resemblance to speak of, I can vaguely sense cousin's valor and grandeur, the imposing posture. Shangguan Qingyin rolled her eyes and giggled. Shangguan Yulin was fuming. Is he toying with me or praising me? Shangguan Feixiong glared at his daughter, making her smile fade, but she stuck out her tongue. He sighed and frowned at the two. What have you been doing all this time? Why do you look like that? Uncle, actually, Zhua Fan began his report, making Shangguan Feixiong look stern and focused. But Zhua Fan's next words had this mild clan head actually ticked off. I have no clue whatsoever. Shangguan Feixiong was so close to popping in anger, barking, Why are you talking then? And weren't you two together? How can you not know anything? Uncle, while I and cousin were out searching, I was struck unconscious out of nowhere. By the time I woke up, there was no one there, not even cousin. I searched for him, fearing the guards might have found him. But despite all the searching, I found no sign of him and rushed back, only to see cousin wasn't home either. I truly don't know anything about what happened when I was out cold. Zhua Fan muttered, playing the victim. Uncle, at your question, I of course responded swiftly as a sign of respect. Yet you do not appreciate me, but shout at me. Aren't you from a righteous clan? Shangguan Feixiong was stumped, feeling ashamed seeing Zhua Fan's look. But he was also gratified. While Zhua Fan was a flippant rogue, he could still tell from that recounting he forewent his safety in danger, worrying for his friend and searching all day through the city to find him. Such loyalty was just the kind Shangguan clan preached, clueless that all of it was merely an elaborate excuse for his late arrival. All of it was to get closer to the clan. Loyalty was the farthest thing from his mind with Zhua Fan's vile character. What the hell kind of loyalty would he have after meeting you guys for just a day? But since the old man wanted to believe it, Zhua Fan was happy to play along, all to get more out of it later. Shangguan Feixiong took a deep breath and patted his shoulder. Yi Fun, I was wrong. Don't mind it. With no parents in this world, you are my only elder. I have no right to complain. Zhua Fan beamed and bowed. Shangguan Feixiong was even more gratified. You're looking more and more like a true Shangguan clansman. I haven't made a mistake taking you in, haha. Shangguan Yulin shook, a feeling of dread drowning him. What the hell? The kid only knew how to run his mouth, forcing Uncle to take him in with a reluctant heart. So why is it that now the punk got Uncle's approval? Won't that make it harder to touch him later? Yulin, Yifun doesn't know what happened. You tell us. Shangguan Yulin was thinking about his next plan when Shangguan Feixiong's shout brought him back to the present. Uncle is right. Brother Gu truly is like a Shangwan clansman. Only difference is his surname. Shangwan Feixiong-eyed him. Yulin, what are you spouting? I'm asking here, where have you been all this time? And how did Yi Fun get attacked? Oh, that. Wiping the cold sweat off his brow, Shangwan Yulin had a dry smile as he made excuses. Uncle, I and Brother Gu had followed a patrol in the forest since they were being suspicious in their actions. I never thought they had a sentry post hidden as well, ambushing us. I panicked and blocked in reflex, not even realizing the shockwave would catch Brother Gu by surprise and knock him out. 6 people then showed up, forcing me to flee upon facing such strong opposition. Zhuofan's brow rose, sparing him an approving glance. He's a genius, all right, making perfect lies on the spot that encompasses all doubts. He's one crafty guy. Even I would have believed him if I wasn't there. Shangwan Feixiong frowned. So you abandoned Yi Fun? No, uncle, please hear me out. Shangwan Yulin rushed to come up with another lie. With so many enemies after us, if I had taken Brother Gu as well, it didn't matter if escape was impossible, but that Brother Gu would have been caught up in our fight and die. Brother Gu's cultivation is also low, and I fear the enemy would have no remorse for him. That's why I drew them away as we fought, hoping to give Brother Gu the time to flee. Once I threw off their pursuit, I came back to find Brother Gu wasn't there. That's why I rushed back home, hoping to find him safe. If he hadn't returned, then I would have gone back, risking my life to save Brother Gu. Shangwan Yulin's vehement speech, coupled with his sorry state, made for a tragic impression. Everyone admired him. Zhuofan might have even thought him heroic if he didn't know the truth. For crying out loud, is all Shangwan clan filled with high-class actors? Then again, I'm not lacking in that department either. Zhuofan grabbed his hands firmly, touched to the core. Cousin, I am unable to bear such loyalty from you. Aren't we brothers? While Shangwan Yulin was revolted of Zhuofan, in front of Uncle he had to show his big brother side in this case. Zhuofan milked it for all it's worth, tearing up, Cousin, I'm just a nobody. How could I be worthy of Cousin's glorious sacrifice and friendship? I can feel my heart beating out of my chest every time I think about it. If Cousin had died because of me, I'd deserve death. Zhuofan looked particularly mournful right about now, driving his point with his snot and tears dripping on Shangwan Yulin's hands filled with disgust and loathing that could not be expressed with Shangwan Feixiong around. He revealed instead a brilliant smile. Brother Gu, we are true brothers under oath. Cousin, Brother Gu, Cousin, Brother Gu. The two sighed at the touching words, with the father and daughter of Shangwan clan admiring their camaraderie. Gu Santong, who kept on playing, felt his mouth twitch constantly. Looky here, Dad got some more simps falling for his act. Then again, this cousin's shamelessness can challenge Dad's. They're both shadow emperors. He might be a child, but had more than 3 centuries of experience. Then there were the years spent along with Zhuofan on top, and Gu Santong could see through any of his acts. He held the play in disdain, though he never said a word, playing on with his toy. I'm grateful to know you brothers are so close. But no matter how close you are, you should let go of your hands now. How do you think it'll look seeing 2 grown men hold each other and sniveling? Shangwan Feixiong found the two's friendship too strong for his eyes. Teasing them about it, the two beamed, and let go. Shangwan Yulin wanted to let go ages ago. Zhuofan had been dripping snot all over them and left him with disgust, but he was forced to smile. Through the ordeal, Shangwan Feixiong nodded. All that matters is that you're both safe and sound. Yulin, were you followed when coming back? Don't worry, Uncle. I was careful not to pick a tail. Shangwan Yulin's eyes flashed. Shangwan Feixiong nodded. I think so too. Yulin, there's an important job I have to entrust you with. Another one? Shangwan Yulin's eyes looked lost. First was the devil, and now his uncle. What's the world coming to, dumping all its troubles on my head? I'm just too amazing, too strong, and too responsible. The delusions of grandeur were strong with this one. Chapter 870, Overreaching. Chapter 870, Overreaching. Proofreader, Papatonks. In the dead of night, Shangwan Feixiong brought Shangwan Yulin through the halls toward the plain room. He bowed. Venerables, I've brought him. Enter. Shangguan Feixiong nodded at the aged voice and went in with his nephew. There sat the three oldest venerables of the Shangguan clan. Knowing this was serious, Shangguan Yulin bowed and shivered in excitement. Another heavy task is entrusted. Greetings, venerables. Stand up. The elders smiled, but then they looked at him oddly. What's with that swollen face? Feixiong, what is this? Shangguan Feixiong was embarrassed, but went to whisper in their ears. The trio nodded. Oh, so he was scouting for the clan and had a bitter fight with the enemy. Exactly. Shangguan Yulin beamed. I'd do anything for the clan, come hell or high water. The elders eased a breath. The fight must have been truly desperate, beaten so much that not even his mother would recognize him. Shangguan Yulin's mouth twitched while Shangguan Feixiong chuckled with a shake of his head, but they're all mere flesh wounds, needing a few days to recover. Ha ha ha. But then the elders laughed out, focusing their aged eyes on him. Shangguan Yulin, you are the best disciple of Shangguan clan, renowned for your cultivation. This time, the clan has a critical and deadly task for you. Do it well, and you'll gain the most merit. Fail, and you may die. Will you accept? Shangguan Yulin cupped his hands and shouted, For all the care the Shangguan clan gave me all these years, I will not shy from any danger. Good, you got spunk. An elder elaborated the task. You know by now that the manor is recruiting alchemists. In a few days, it will open its doors for them. We hope you can play as one and sneak in. You will scout the place for us so that we can make a better plan of attack the second time. Shangguan Yulin cried out, You want me to play the role of an alchemist? But I don't know alchemy. We know that. The Shangguan clan hardly has any such talents. That's why I can only be you. The venerable sighed. Alchemy combines cultivation, skill, and arts to achieve greatness. While we lack in arts, we'll just have to make up with cultivation and skill. It's known that a radiant stage cultivator can be a 7th grade alchemist, an ethereal stage cultivator in 8th grade, a soul harmony stage cultivator a 9th grade, and a genesis stage cultivation a 10th grade. In this world, 11th grade alchemists are the true masters of this art. With our skills, we can only make average 9th grade pills with a rare 10th one. We're not real alchemists in this sense, let alone outstanding grandmasters. While I bet you can't even reach the 7th grade. But since we lack alchemy arts, we'll use cultivation. You're in the soul harmony stage, so we'll use these days to beat a few secret alchemy arts into you and hope you reach the 8th grade. Maybe it will be enough to gain you entry into the manor. Shangguan Yulin's brow shook. You want me to become an 8th grade alchemist in just a few days? No way. I know next to nothing about alchemy. I may have an easy time making some casual pills, but I never tackled anything more complex. Oh, why not a Brother Gugo instead? Ain't he an alchemist? Shangguan Yulin proposed. He knew just how deadly it could turn out if he went into the manor. In case he was exposed, his death was certain. It's better to let that punk brave the danger than stay here, humph. The people shook their heads. Yulin, we've already taken him in consideration, but he's not good. Like I told you, a radiant stage cultivator can only reach 7th grade in alchemy, with average 8th grade at the most for true grandmasters. The limit is tied to one's cultivation. The child is in the 5th layer of radiant stage, but not at the rank of grandmaster. A good 7th grade alchemist is all. It might have worked in the other land's tiny nations, but not in the Sword Star Empire. He's also an outsider that has yet to earn our trust. A task so critical can only be handed down to a trusted clansman. Shangguan Yulin's face twitched. Damn geezers. You're saying it's better for a clansman to die than an outsider? Curses. Why aren't you old farts going then? Don't drag me into this. Shangguan Yulin frowned and worked hard to find an excuse. He stuck out his chest and declared, Venerable sirs, I think your judgment of Brother Gu is unfair. Maybe he was dubious before, but today showed he is loyal. He helped me in my search and proved he's worthy of trust. Right, uncle? Yes, it's indeed so. Shangguan Feixiong nodded. I was about to tell venerables, and since Yulin mentioned it, I will do it now. Today, Gu Yifan had not been under our surveillance, but still didn't betray us. This shows his loyalty. I think holding him and his son confined is no longer needed. We should see them as part of the Shangwan clan. And from what we saw today, he is quite the valor, fitting the nature of the Shangwan clan. The venerables looked at him long, then nodded. Fei Xiong, we'll trust your judgment. But this task of infiltrating the manor, venerables, please give Brother Gu a chance. He's working hard to join our clan. Shangwan Yulin cupped his hands and urged Shangwan. Fei Xiong nodded, touched by the two's camaraderie. Though why did this happen after a single trip together? Is it growing close through suffering? Has to be. Shangwan. Fei Xiong added, venerables, Gu Yifan is a true alchemist. Even if he's in 7th grade, he's still a gem. He might even get into the manor. I believe casting a wider net will work in our favor. Why not have them both go? It will be the same as long as any one of them enters. Clueless that Shangwan Yulin wanted to throw Zhuo Fan to the wolves, should we let the outsider try as well? The venerables sank in thought. Shangwan Yulin nodded, and Shangwan Yulin rushed to add, yes, you must give Brother Gu a chance. But leaving it to an outsider makes us uneasy. The venerables looked worried. He may go, but someone must keep an eye on him for any mishaps and dangers. Shangwan Yulin beamed. Not a problem. As long as we treat Brother Gu as family, giving him the chance to prove himself, all will be fine. Ha! Although we'll have Yifan do something for us, we'll also send someone to watch him. This might lower his opinion of us. Shangwan. Fei Xiong frowned. I have seen the kid's character today. While he likes to mess around, his heart is good. And this is how we treat him? Fei Xiong, a man of ambition, doesn't mind trifles. Yeah, Uncle, Brother Gu won't mind it. Shangwan Yulin and the venerables urged Shangwan. Fei Xiong, who felt ashamed still. Maybe, but he will definitely be against having some stranger with him. It will alienate him. Why not let Yina go? She'll observe him under the guise of support. They're also familiar to each other, so he won't mind. What cousin? No. Shangwan Yulin waved his hand around. Yes, that's what we'll do. Yina is the best choice. Fei Xiong, you're really thorough. We'll go with your plan. All of us are in agreement. Ignoring Shangwan Yulin's outburst, the elders nodded, putting an end to this discussion, having disregarded him completely while the four laughed, their minds made up. Zhuo Fan, the second candidate, was going to sneak into the manor with Yinner as his helper, and watcher Shangwan Yulin was dumbstruck. What have I done? Did I just hand my cousin to that punk? That was not his intention at all. He had overreached himself, Pa. Shangwan Yulin slapped himself hard. The four gave him a look. What's wrong? Nothing, just a toothache. Chapter 871, Pill King Convention. Chapter 871, Pill King Convention. Proofreader, Papatonks. You wanted to join the Flying Cloud Manor's alchemy screening and sneak in. At the crack of dawn, Shangwan Fei Xiong was seeing Zhuo Fan and Shangwan Qingyan in the parlor with a bright smile. Zhuo Fan was stunned, then nodded. It fit his plan of wanting to test the waters as well after hearing this announcement. Putting it off until Flying Cloud Manor and Shangwan clan faced off would leave too much room for error, something he wished to avoid, and this proved to be his best chance to do it, while also entering Shangwan clan's good graces. Zhuo Fan cupped his hands without delay, agreeing with a smile. Doing my part for the Shangwan clan, after the clan took us both in, is an utmost honor. Thank you, Uncle, for giving us this chance. As long as you know, Shangwan Fei Xiong smiled. I'm sure you know that my decision of taking you in hasn't been met well by other members. But if you do this well, you'll prove yourself in front of everyone. No one will question you again. Zhuo Fan's eyes shone. Shangwan Qingyan giggled. Sir Gu, work hard. Whether you stand with Shangwan clan will depend on this task. Maybe you'll even earn everyone's approval and become a true young master of our clan. You might even get the chance to get back your wife. It won't matter who you offended in Western lands when Shangwan clan has your back. You'll finally be together. Zhuo Fan gave him a long look, but seeing her clear eyes, he returned a smile. Oh, I see. I was wondering why this Missy cared so much for me and my son. I wrote it off as being my immense charm's fault. Who knew she wanted to get me and my wife together again? How kind. A shame it's not that simple. With a dimmed gaze, Zhuo Fan shook his head. Even if you become one of us, you can't go on a rampage. Shangwan Fei Xiong glared at his daughter. But then he smiled at Zhuo Fan. Don't worry, Shangwan clan is no pushover. Do this well, and I will definitely help you out. Even if double dragon manner is involved, I'll give you justice. Thank you so much, uncle. Zhuo Fan bowed. Double dragon manner. If it were that easy, I'd have done it myself. Yinner, we planned on sending Yulin with Yifan at the competition. Shangwan Qingyan continued. Yulin is a steady man and can take charge. Yifan's cultivation is low, so you will have to assist him in making sure he's selected. Got it. Shangwan Qingyan gave a firm nod with a happy look. Yes, father. Sergu, you better listen to me now. She gave Zhuo Fan a teasing smile. Zhuo Fan chuckled as well, but he saw through Shangwan Feixiong's plan on having her spy on him. Yesterday's play wasn't enough to remove all doubts of the clan, which was normal, especially with such an important task. Caution was paramount. Zhuo Fan and Shangwan Feixiong exchanged a few more words before he left with a bow. Shangwan Qingyan skipped behind him. The next few days, Shangwan Yulin and Zhuo Fan went through a personal hell. Shangwan Yulin, being the most promising seed, was instructed personally by the three venerables in the intricate arts of cooking herbs into pills. Day in, day out, he was found hovering over the cauldron, soaked in its fumes, instructed in the fine arts the elders were hardly familiar with. That was because Shangwan Yulin had the cultivation but not the skills. Thus the elders went harder on him, in hope his skill improved faster. On the other hand, Zhuo Fan's days were paradise by comparison. Everyone knew him as an alchemist. So that was that. That was why he was left to his own devices. All he had to make up for was cultivation, but cultivation wasn't to be rushed either, which made this backup, Shangwan Yulin's replacement, disregarded in this aspect. With the confinement ending, Zhuo Fan was out in the world again with his son, with clan head's daughter leading along. He was the envy of anyone as he enjoyed himself. Shangwan Qingyan's role was the observer, but young Sanzi's infectious playful nature got the best of her, making her grow closer and closer to the pair. It went as far as going in the back of the house to have a blast with them. This only worked to sour Shangwan Yulin's mood, being wiped like a donkey over the cauldron by the elders. Ha ha ha. Young Sanzi, loosen your hand a bit or your kite's gonna fall. Yes, that's it. Auntie, hold it while I get a fruit. Sure. Hey, Gu Yifan, stop being lazy. You should be the one to hold your son's kite. Young Sanzi gave it to you, so you guys play with it. Now stop messing up my nap, stingy. Hey, whose son is young Sanzi anyway? What kind of father doesn't care? Then you care instead. Wretched brat. Banter and teasing was heard from beyond the walls. Shangwan Yulin sat cross-legged near a cauldron over a scorching fire, his mouth constantly twitching, his eyes burning hotter than the fire before him. Damn, that accursed punk. I warned him to stay away from her. Now he's flirting instead? Once I get out of here, I'll throttle you. Calm your heart and focus. The gestures are the key as you employ the art. Noticing Shangwan Yulin's attention was slipping, a bamboo scroll smacked him over the head, making him wince. He looked at the venerable standing behind him with a cold gaze. Calm your heart and focus on the gestures. Screw you. My cousin is out there with that degenerate pair, and you're telling me to frickin' calm down? Huh. Another smack came on point. Empty your mind, calm your heart. Your thoughts should only be on the gestures. Face twitching, Shangwan Yulin's heart was grumbling as he nodded. He got himself to blame for this mess. I get you wanted me to go into the manor, but why the hell is that bastard coming too? Now look at him. Even before we reach it, I'm in hell, wasting my time with alchemy while you guys are giggling so hard, afraid I won't hear you. This is torture. Heavens above, Mother Earth below. What did I ever do to deserve this? Why are you so cruel to me? Gu Yifan, this isn't over, not by a long shot. Once we're done with the manor, I'll make sure you're dead. Pa! The smacking came on point, as did the warning, calm your heart. Flinching, Shangwan Yulin grumbled some more. A week passed like this, with Zhuo Fan and Shangwan Yulin enjoying their special and contradictory training. What they had in common was the annoyance with it, what Shangwan Yulin saw as hell and the pungent herbs boiling their noxious fumes in his face. Zhuo Fan saw it as relaxation. He was most happy to switch places. It should be Zhuo Fan the main, with Shangwan Yulin as backup in this scenario. However, The bitter days finally ran out as Zhuo Fan returned home at noon with Shangwan Qingyan and Gu Santong. But they were far from relaxed, Dad. The manor made another announcement. 3 days later, it will hold the Pill King Convention to select true alchemists to heal the crown prince in the imperial capital. Rushing into the parlor, Shangwan Qingyan made her report jumping to his feet. Shangwan Feixiong's eyes shone, shouting. Since they mentioned the alchemist selection, the security eased up, the patrols eased, and people swarmed this city. The day finally came. In 3 days, we move, ha ha ha. Shangwan Feixiong walked behind the house. I'll inform the venerables. Shangwan Qingyan beamed and nodded. Gu Yifan, your moment is near. Don't mess it up. While a backup. No worries, I won't. Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed. Shangwan Qingyan nodded. Rushing after her dad, Gu Santong muttered, Dad, is it a trap? Definitely. Zhuo Fan grinned. But Shangwan clan spies in the central area have reported for the last few days that the crown prince is indeed hurt badly. Won't. Zhuo Fan patted his head. It's too strange of an event. Not about the number of reports confirming it, but the timing is what reveals it being a trap. Yet they're still going. Don't they know this? People always believe what they want to believe. Zhuo Fan smiled. Knowing it's a trap, the fact that they make all kinds of plans around it, they don't see it as one, but an opportunity, such as the mentality of men, greedy. There's no way opportunity lies at every corner. Ha ha ha. Though this trap is clever, what's truly ingenious is that it fits the Shangwan clan's character. Flying Cloud Manor has a cunning mind among them. Zhuo Fan's eyes shone coldly. I'll have to watch my step in the manor as well. Chapter 872. Gathering at the Manor. Chapter 872. Gathering at the Manor. Proofreader, Papatonks. If it isn't Grandmaster Zhang, you've also come to join the bustle, sir? What do you think? With such a rare chance of shooting for the moon, I'm not want to pass it up. Are you any different, Sir Li? You must want to get a post in the imperial family with this, right? Please, I don't hold such high hopes. I'm only here to enjoy the occasion. Bright and early as the rooster crowed, Flying Cloud Manor entrance was packed with a huge crowd, alchemists drawn in by the rumors as far as skills went. Only some were real alchemists who came here to seize their chance. The people laughed, joked, teased, greeted, yet what all had in common was their reserved stance. They were ready to sweep the opposition, while warm smiles were everywhere. They were each wise enough to know the cruelty hidden within. They were rivals. At long last, Zhuo Fan and Shangwan Qingyan arrived as well among this sea of hypocrites. Miss, are you an alchemist too? How rare. Shangwan Qingyan got quite a few curious glances when they were actually trying to get some info out of her. Alchemy is filled with fumes and toil, hardly an interest to women. I'm truly amazed you're an alchemist, miss. Shangwan Qingyan shook her head, pointing at Zhuo Fan. You misunderstood, brother. It's my elder brother who's an alchemist. I'm only here to keep him company. Oh, he is? The man turned his attention to Zhuo Fan, giving off a smile of contempt. So brother is an alchemist coming to participate in the Pill King Convention. Greetings. Oh, there's an old friend of mine. Better say hi. Let's meet again. The man quickly left the two, being all friendly to another group. Ha ha ha. One look told me you're all seasoned alchemists. May I know from where? Air. Shangwan Qingyan was taken aback, then glanced at Zhuo Fan. Who is he? He looks friendly yet bolts after a few words. Zhuo Fan shook his head. He's being nice to you, figuring you'd be a strong contender if you were an alchemist coupled with your cultivation. He was only assessing the competition. As a result, he saw me, in the Radiant stage, as the only one to participate and was happy, since alchemy skill is tied to cultivation as well. He's mocking you then? Shangwan Qingyan cursed. What a snob. You may be weak, you may be average in alchemy, but you've come to join the Grand Pill King Convention as an alchemist. Much better than those fakers coming fighting for scraps. I never liked their type. Ugh. Staggering, Zhuo Fan's heart fell. Sister, they might look down on me, but at least you should appreciate me. Why are you calling me weak and average in alchemy? Don't you know you're bruising my ego? Oh. Sorry, I was just trying to help you out. Shangwan Qingyan beamed as she apologized. I got too excited and didn't mean it like that. Moreover, I'm stating facts. As a fifth-layer radiant stage cultivator, just how great of an alchemist can you be? If you were entrusted with such a heavy task, why then did Dad force Cousin to go through alchemy the past week? Zhua Fan's face twitched hard and almost spat blood. Sister, I beg of you, never try to take one side again. I have great tolerance and can take it, but others would fly into a rage by now. You're not helping me here, but the other. Isn't it all because of you two? Shangwan Qingyan blushed and glared at him with a pout. Hanging out with the two of you every day, my mind's jumbled up and don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Yesterday, Cousin failed in making an 8th grade pill, and Father was concerned if he would pass the selection. I tried soothing Cousin, but he took my kind words the wrong way and almost blew a gasket. PFF, Zhua Fan almost laughed out loud. Shangwan Qingyan was flabbergasted, beating his spin in embarrassment. What are you laughing at? It's all your fault for teaching me this. I didn't teach you anything. You're just a natural when it comes to cutting someone down to size. Ha! Don't laugh. The light punches kept coming, with Shangwan Qingyan looking distraught. My Shangwan clan is one of virtue. The only reason I became like this is because I spent too much time around you. It's all your fault. Can't you be more gentlemanlike? All the time you only know how to talk back and mock, ruining your son and even a lady like me. Don't blame me. Who told you to stick around every day? No, it's all on you. The two argued in front of everyone, having fun regardless of the audience. Only one pair of eyes watched them with hatred and fury. It was none other than Shangwan Yulin to not cast any doubts on them. The Shangwan clan planned for Shangwan Yulin and Zhua Fan to act like strangers. Zhua Fan was registered in Flying Cloud City, so nothing he did was eye-catching, while Shangwan Yulin had to be subtle about it before falling back, faking that he was like everyone else, attracted by the Pill King convention this way. With one egg in another basket, the chances of failure dropped. At the very least, if Shangwan Yulin was found out, there was still Zhua Fan safe, making the Gu household safe. In turn, Shangwan clan's plan was ingenious, just that they omitted this young master's mood. Watching the two having fun, Shangwan Yulin was about to explode, with veins popping on his hands. Oh, his brother an alchemist? A soul harmony stage, cultivator too. A most unfriendly voice sounded, from the same man who probed the others before, showing his fake smile. Brother's alchemy must be amazing in the 9th grade, I bet. May I ask from where? Shangwan Yulin spat. Buzz off. What did you say, brother? His anger made the words somewhat unrecognizable, and the new guy asked again despite the danger he was in squinting. Shangwan Yulin showed a nasty grin. Do you want to know my master? Humph, he's the most amazing man in the central area that everyone knows. But I can't say it here. Let's go somewhere quiet and I'll tell you. Shangwan Yulin walked to a corner and was gone. The man was excited as he followed, but just as he made a turn, his mouth was covered. What followed was an endless string of dull sounds as punches rained down on the hapless fool an hour later. Shangwan Yulin came out in the light looking refreshed and smiling. Ah, much better. He went back to mingling, with a faint groan coming from behind WI. A bloody hand stretched out of the corner. Before slumping down and slowly crawling out was an unrecognizable man into the light. He cursed. What the frickin' hell? We were just talking. Why the violence? What did I ever do to you? I didn't kill your father, nor steal your wife. Sob. How was he to know that the man he accosted had indeed had his girl taken? Just that he couldn't vent on the culprit, and had him be the target instead, since it just so happened he was the wrong guy at just the right time. It was just now his day for this unfortunate soul. Wiping the blood from his nose, he gnashed his teeth. Curses, wait till I'll tell on you. With a creak, the manor gate opened and a soul harmony stage guard stepped out and cupped his hands to announce, Alchemists, the Lord welcomes you. He turned around and led the way, and the crowd followed excitedly, eyes brimming with hope. They felt glory was just around the corner. Release schedule, +8 GMT 0, 400 0, 800 1600 2000 from Wednesday till Sunday, 22444444. Chapter 873, Wronged Agent. Chapter 873, Wronged Agent. Proofreader, Papatonks. Prime Minister, Lords, that guy's a Shangwan clan spy, no doubt about it. In a lavish and grand hall, 3 figures sat in front. On the left, Prime Minister Bailey Jingwei. In center, Shangwan Feiyun. And on the right, Dragon-cleaving Sword King. Dan Xingshun. The 3 looked calm. Their eyes lowered at the bloody mass below. The man wore a victimized look, his hand constantly wiping his bloody nose as he recounted. Sirs, you must believe me. He is most definitely a spy Shangwan clan sent into Flying Cloud Manor. Glancing at him, Bailey Jingwei had a faint smile. Is the Shangwan clan ever brutal? Are they that cocky to think they can get away with doing something so conspicuous? Yeah, I, for one, would keep my nose down in another's home. Avoid trouble like the plague and not go around beating people. Dan Xingshun covered his teacup with the most mocking smile. Bailey Jingwei smiled, turning a deep gaze on the victim. His tone was anything but kind. Try to repeat that. Just tell me again that he's related to the Shangwan clan. Well, his eyes darted all over as he spluttered bam. Bailey Jingwei slammed the table. I had you sent out there to scout for information, to be the first outpost. It's to gather information, not to let it go to your head and get revenge. Yeah, an undercover agent is to blend in just like a spy would. Sighing, Dan Xingshun mocked, but I guess with how the guard are always conceited, they have a hard time staying unknown. Ha ha. The victim looked hurt by that remark and hurriedly explained, Sirs, Prime Minister, I have been keeping a low profile. Then why are you here like this, a bloody pulp? Shangwan Feiyun barked, pointing at his nose. The man's mouth quivered. Why was I beaten black and blue anyway? I was only talking to him. Bailey Jingwei shook his head and muttered, There are no true coincidences in the world. Everything has a reason. Why is it that of all the quiet alchemists at our gates, only you stand out, and the other left you breathing as well? This shows he didn't find you out as being an agent. Being exposed would definitely have gotten you killed by the Shangwan clan, yet this didn't happen, only suffering some bruising. Now you're coming here and tell us he's from the Shangwan clan? Ha ha ha, you take us for fools? You think Flying Cloud Manor is your backyard to do as you please? No, no, no. I'd never, never. The man panicked and shivered in fear. Bailey Jingwei mocked. Then I'll ask you again. Is that man really from the Shangwan clan? Well, his heart fell, his body shook, and words came hard having it all figured out. Bailey Jingwei ignored him and turned an angry stare at Shangwan Feiyun. Sword King Feiyun, he's your man. I was only borrowing him for something, but now he even refused to take responsibility for his own mess. I just don't know how to deal with him. Though one might ask, if Sir's agents are all so outrageous and abuse their status, I can only wonder, are your ears capable of hearing the truth? Can a Sword King who doesn't know his own domain safeguard? Ha ha ha, I won't say it. I'm just an outsider. While here is Sword King Feiyun's world. I shouldn't meddle. Oh, the Pill King convention is about to start. I'll play the host in Sir's place. Ha ha ha. Bailey Jingwei waved his hand and left with his guards, leaving an indifferent Dan Xingshun, a shivering and bloody agent, and a furious Shangwan Feiyun. Knuckles cracked as Shangwan Feiyun clenched his fist, staring at the writhing mess below. Answer the question. Is he part of the Shangwan clan? Or are you just trying to get back at him for the beating? Lord, he's suspicious. Bam! The agent cowered, blabbering, and Shangwan Feiyun flicked his hand. The bloody mess now turned into a bloody mist, with the soul destroyed, as well. Shangwan Feiyun's brow shook, his teeth clenched. These damn arrogant fools lord around the streets daily, but the least they can do is not shame me in front of Bailey Jingwei. Brother Feiyun, easy. Bailey Jingwei is the Prime Minister. It won't be easy to fool him. Dan Xingshun patted his shoulder annoyed. Shangwan Feiyun flicked his hand and spat. Who the hell is fooling who here? It's all these morons' fault for not playing their part. Hey, that could be taken different ways. Shangwan Feiyun reacted, glowering at Dan Xingshun. You mean to tell me these men fooled me till now? Only getting exposed now. Bailey Jingwei came. Dan Xingshun beamed and waved his hand. This definitely isn't from just yesterday. Since today they use your name for revenge, it goes to show you handled them poorly. In fact, Bailey Jingwei knocking you down a peg came at the right time for... Whatever, it's none of my business anyway. Ha ha ha. By the way, I hear you have quite the wine collection in the cellar. Hope you won't mind, ha ha ha. Danxing Shun waved his hand at Shangwan Feiyun's dark look, slipping away while leaving those snide remarks to pierce the host's ears. Shangwan Feiyun gnashed his teeth. For God's sake, these bastards made a fool of me. Even Danxing Shun dares to mock me now. Humph! I'll be sure to clean up the manor once this is all over with. Shangwan Feiyun's eyes flashed, yet all were clueless that this agent was a wronged agent. He really did find the Shangwan clan spy, though by chance, by becoming the other's punching bag, yet his suffering did not go rewarded. Then again, he was doing it for his own selfish reasons too, at the end of it all. The fact remained, heaven gave him a shortcut to success. Though brutal, his bosses were too smart for their own good, not believing a word. Man proposes, God disposes. A saying held true, now more than ever luck was not to be neglected. Meanwhile, in the garden behind Flying Cloud Manor, the crowd gathered around a stone stage. A rough glance saw close to 1,000 heads being brought here, yet told nothing on the way. The people formed little groups, talking to each other and picking on the other's faults. Hey, look there at Shui clan's elder, Shui Dingxian. I heard the rare 9th grade alchemist is on the cusp of reaching 10th grade. That's him? He had placed in the top 20 of the last Pill King competition held at the imperial capital. Coming here, he's sure to come out on top. No, not if you consider him. Someone recognized with shock the candidate of another competition, while another shook his head in disdain, pointing at an old man in white. That right there is divine Pill Meng Fei Tian, in the top 10 of the last Pill King competition. I thought the top 10 would be given a post in the imperial capital. What's he doing here? Stealing our bread. Who knows? These old coots are all weirdos. Who knows what craziness is going on in that head of theirs? They got their fame last time, and now they came here for some more. The man looked puzzled as well. The others felt their hearts sink, having no clue how many spots were for the imperial capital. They were afraid that with such tight competition, they wouldn't make the cut. All they could do was mock others and make themselves feel good. The two seated candidates finally bumped heads and were looking at each other with fire in their eyes. Old Shui, you're here as well? Humph! Sword King Feiyun controls these parts. My Shui clan is the best in alchemy for thousands of miles. If I didn't show up, calling it the Pill King convention would be an overstatement. What a mouth on you. In the last competition at the imperial capital, you placed 5 spots behind me. Yet now you show off in my face? Shui Dingxian, you have no shame. Ha ha. Meng Fei Tian looked smug. Shui Dingxian's lips twitched in anger. Meng Fei Tian, time changes everything. Especially when the last competition was a decade ago. We'll just see whose skills are the best soon enough. Ha ha ha. Then I can only oblige you and have you taste the bitter flavor of defeat once more. Meng Fei Tian laughed. Chapter 874, Elimination. Chapter 874, Elimination. Proofreader, Papatonks. Shui Dingxian was fuming, his hands shaky, his face all red. Bailey Jingwei just arrived to see the petty Meng Fei Tian and held his head. Wasn't he supposed to have a post in the imperial family's alchemy department? What's he doing here? Prime Minister, sir. After hearing the Sword Star Empire is selecting alchemists from every corner, Sir Meng resigned his post in the imperial capital and came to join. He said he wanted to start all over again. A guard chuckled, sighing. Bailey Jingwei shook his head. These crotchety geezers are nothing but weirdos. He was doing just fine in the imperial capital, so why the hell would he quit it all just to go back to it all over again? God knows what's cooking in that brain of his. Bailey Jingwei looked around and walked over to Meng Fei Tian with cupped hands. Old Meng, it's been a while. HM? Oh, there's someone else who knows me. You won't get far sticking close to me, boy. Meng Fei Tian frowned, but as he turned, he shivered, as Sir Bailey, signaling to keep quiet. Bailey Jingwei laughed, leaning on him. Old Meng, the last time we saw each other in the imperial capital. How have you been lately? Thank you, Prime, young master, for your concern. I've been doing very well, ha ha ha. Wiping his brow, Meng Feitian's smile was strained. Shui Dingxian gave him a funny look. What's with the usual smug Meng Feitian, looking so scared all of a sudden? A look at this youth, and he has him shaking in his boots. He scanned Bailey Jingwei with quizzical eyes. Old Meng, I heard you've done well for yourself in the imperial capital. Why leave and come here? Didn't you earn your place in the imperial family? Bailey Jingwei's eyes flashed as he patted Meng Feitian's shoulder, questioning him shuddering. Meng Feitian was put on the spot. I'll be honest. Since the crown prince suffered an incident, he's been isolated and no alchemist in the imperial family was allowed to check on him. We were baffled. When we heard alchemists were being selected across the empire, we thought we were inadequate. So I resigned stubbornly to come here and prove once again my value and not let others pass me. Oh, really? Bailey Jingwei raised a mocking eyebrow. Why then all the way to Sword King Feiyun's place? Of the 9 domains, you oughtn't be here. Meng Feitian's face twitched. Staying silent, Shui Dingxian stepped closer, explaining, Young master, this coot wants to compete with me. He and I have been studying under the same master, always competing, always excelling. But in the last competition in the imperial capital, he got 5 spots ahead of me, entering the imperial family while I failed. Despite the regret, I had no choice but to accept it. Once more, this rare occasion presents itself, and I join with high hopes, but whoever thought this eyesore would show up and ruin things? But he'll be sorely disappointed if he thinks this will be a repeat of last time. As if, this one will be mine again. Meng Feitian was annoyed. Flaring his nose, Bailey Jingwei got the gist of it, 2 rivals testing their mettle. The fact remained, for Meng to resign from the imperial capital showed just how much he cared about his rival. Bailey Jingwei patted Shui Dingxian's shoulder in encouragement. Oh, a fellow brother of old Meng, and only 5 spots shy of him in alchemy. Senior must be a true grandmaster then. A shame the last competition ended like that, but this time will be different. I hope you will both strive hard for the empire. That's all I want, ha ha ha. Bailey Jingwei left with a smile. Shui Dingxian looked at Meng Feitian with a skeptical look. Old man, who exactly was that youth? What do you mean who? You'll know once you enter the imperial capital. Meng Feitian gave him a look and said, Since a man of his greatness does not want to reveal himself, I can only oblige. And so should you. Shui Dingxian's face fell and mocked. What greatness! Look at you, knowing all the secrets of the empire. But isn't it just being a royal alchemist? If you lose to me this time, that spot will be mine. When pigs fly, Meng Feitian mocked. Bailey Jingwei walked before the crowd, with guards converging from around to protect him. The clamor stopped then and there, with all eyes on the youth. Zhou Fan was watching him too, his eyes shaking. He feels oddly familiar. Stepping on stage, Bailey Jingwei waved his hand for them to settle down. Alchemists coming here from every corner of the central area. I'm gratified for your devotion to His Majesty, your desire to help the Crown Prince in time of need, and efforts for the Empire. I shall be presiding over the alchemist selection at the Flying Cloud Manor. The people started whispering, looking lost. Who is this kid? Isn't the Pill King convention important? Shouldn't there be someone with more renown leading it? Why is this kid here instead? What about Sword King Feiyun? Bailey Jingwei easily read their minds. The Pill King convention has 3 rounds to select the best 10 alchemists to go to the imperial capital and heal His Highness. The preliminary and second rounds shall be overseen by me, while the last will be presided by the Sword King in person. A man of Sword King's renown will only meet those worthy of his time. That set the crowd aboil. It wasn't just about the Pill King convention here, but about their worth. If they couldn't reach the last round, they would be seen as nothing, unworthy of the Sword King's attention. Many of the ambitious candidates had a fire lit under them. Bailey Jingwei approved. By getting all worked up, it would force Shangguan clan spy to stand out. Bailey Jingwei's eyes flashed as he smiled. He waved, and 1,000 guards carried trays to the alchemists, with a simple storage ring on it. What? So many precious ingredients, rare treasures, and even ingredients for a 10th grade pill. The people scanned the rings and cried out. The crowd, once again stirred in excitement. Many of the alchemists here were dirt poor. It would have been a miracle if they ever got their hands on a 10th grade ingredient, let alone the pill they got to touch such precious ingredients in this Pill King convention. Their lives were complete. Bailey Jingwei watched them with a grin, pointing out alchemists to his guards. Kick them out. Yes, sir. The guards moved with purpose, hoisting the alchemists like some chickens and dragging them outside. The manner the people were indignant, to say the least. What's going on? Why are you throwing us out? You've been eliminated. Bailey Jingwei smiled. The men complained. Why? We haven't even started refining, so why kick us out? Alchemy needs a calm mind. If you can't even control your joy from seeing 10th grade ingredients, it only shows you're not great alchemists. Bailey Jingwei disdained the men, kicked out, naturally responded in a bout of rage. Screw you. We're just poor alchemists, not like you, in the Lord's employ. Who wouldn't be excited to see such great ingredients? I won't accept your rule. Bailey Jingwei shook his head. The crowd whispered. The Pill King convention turned out to be harsher than they realized, even involving an alchemist. Joy, wow. It's my first time being at such a tense competition. Shangguan Qingyan smacked her lips. Shui Fan nodded with a smile. But looking back at Bailey Jingwei on stage, he turned grave. It might look like it was out of requirement of an alchemist, but what Bailey Jingwei did was eliminate the ones less likely to be Shangguan clan spies. Shangguan clan was the best clan in Eastern lands. No way they would bat an eyelid in front of some meager 10th grade ingredient. So while it looked to be selecting alchemists, it was more to filter Shangguan clan spies. I just knew the Pill King convention was a trap. Now I know why I found him familiar. He's just like Zhuge Changfeng. Wearing a crooked smile, Zhou Fan shook his head. The kid is something all right. Chapter 875, Preliminary Round. Chapter 875, Preliminary Round. Proofreader, Papatonks. Of the 1,000+ candidates, a mere third remained, most of which were seasoned in deception. As for the rest, they looked at each other stumped, grumbling to themselves. What kind of preliminary round is this? Bailey Jingwei's eyes flashed. Now that the extras are out of the way, we can start the preliminary round. Everyone chilled, having lost their early disregard of this youth. It never crossed their mind the alchemist selection would be so cruel. It hadn't even started and only a third was left. The goal of this round is to refine a 7th grade pill. Seeing them so tense, Bailey Jingwei wore a playful smirk. You've received the ingredient, now refine. Ugh, everyone was taken aback, with one scrounging up the nerve to open his mouth. Sir, is that all we have to do in the preliminary round? Refine a 7th grade pill? What about speed, quality, or features? The people waited for Bailey Jingwei's answer. With how harsh the alchemist selection started, the preliminaries had to be even crueler. One extra condition, at the least, there's no way it's as simple as a 7th grade pill. There are no hidden targets. All you have to do is make a 7th grade pill. Bailey Jingwei had a wide grin on his face. The candidates were still skeptical. Is it that simple? Most of us here can do it. The crowd was tittering from indecision. Considering what they were after in the end, don't just stand there. Hurry up and start. Bailey Jingwei saw them with that dumb look and urged them. He was better off not saying anything, as now everyone's eyes shone, having figured out the aim of the test. Speed. All now were knowing smiles. They heard him loud and clear. Hurry up and start. The candidates ignited their flame and started refining with a smug grin. I'm so smart, getting Sir's conditions so fast, huh? But as everyone raced to the finish, problems cropped up. The flames differed. Some were heaven and earth spirit flames, others beast flames, and even the poorest Yuan Qi flames, the most basic flame, that of Yuan Qi, was feeling the pressure of the other two types, so much so it was hard for it to even light up. Curses, this is the worst fear of any alchemist in a competition, getting your flames snuffed out. How am I supposed to refine when it won't even burn? They'd have to wait till the others finished. But with speed being the crux in this round, dude, while others finish the race, I'm just running in place. That had the group of average alchemists with the most plain flame growing frantic by the second. They looked around with tense faces as the others showed off their precious otherworldly flames and the clear contempt in their eyes. Shangguan Yuan now took out his faint blue flame. releasing its own mighty aura, that of a rare heaven and earth spirit flame. It was what the three venerables had prepared especially for this Pill King convention with this wonder flame. Coupled with his high cultivation and weak of hell, he ought to barely make an 8th grade pill grinning. Shangguan Yulin glanced at his precious heaven and earth spirit flame, then looked at the far Zhuo Fan in disdain. He reckoned Zhuo Fan was just a 5th-layer radiant stage nobody, chased out of his homeland. What could he possibly amount to? A Yuan Qi flame tops. With so many promising candidates in the Pill King convention, Yuan Qi flame was like a bug, trampled around by the other ones. What can you do now? The punk must be panicking right about now, crying for his mommy, humph. Shangguan Yulin was relishing in his delusion of Zhuo Fan's predicament. But then his eyes glazed over from shock. He wasn't the only one, as many around Zhuo Fan were dumbstruck who. A surge of a scarlet flame, 10 meters high, burned hot as the sun. Zhuo Fan looked at the towering blaze with a flat look while all around him were bug-eyed, unable to get over their shock. Shangguan Qinyin was even more so. Jigu, your flame? Yuan Qi flame, why? Glancing at her, Zhuo Fan spoke lazily, leaving her dull and the others with twitching faces. Are you bloody kidding here? Shangguan Qinyin gasped. I know that, but why is it the only one unaffected by the many beast flames and heaven and earth spirit flames? Everyone strained their ears to catch every word. Zhuo Fan looked around then said, I have better control. I'm sure you know that flame control is crucial to an alchemist. Bang! Something just kept on falling in the background while Shangguan Qinyin merely staggered as she said in disbelief, what alchemist here doesn't have control? But look at their Yuan Qi flame, it's not even out. So how is it that yours is so lively? The candidates had hopeful looks, wishing to know the secret. As alchemists, they all wanted to improve their skills. This is different. Zhuo Fan shook his head, putting on the most grave look he mustered as he ran his mouth and weaved inanity. A fire has spirit, making it so a high-grade fire would suppress a lower one. But people have spirit as well, just of different character from flames and aren't affected by higher-grade flames. This is where the problem lies. If a flame's spirit joins with a human's, would it still be suppressed? The people gaped in shock. They never heard of this theory in their lives. Wasn't fire fire and man man? How could they join? Zhuo Fan smiled. This is where your control lacks. If fire is fire and man is man, how can your control excel? I'm different. I reached that stage where I'm one with the flame. It is an extension of me, going where I want with a thought. I fear no higher grade flame, and my Yuan Qi flame doesn't by relation. This is the pinnacle of flame control. Oh, I see. Brother is a true genius. I'm in awe of your skill in control. Brother is only in the radiant stage, but your skills are a marvel. Brother must have been focused on alchemy, so much you forewent cultivation. Where you be in a much higher stage, brimming with power. I truly admire Brother's perseverance in alchemy. Yes, we thought we knew enough about alchemy and came to the Pill King convention. Now we witnessed Brother's amazing skill. It would be such a shame to fail because of your low cultivation. But from Brother's diligent focus, we're sure that Brother will one day soar. Your name will be known throughout. Hear, hear, huh? Claps resounded from all around Zhuo Fan. Shangguan Qinyin was looking at him with bright eyes and a wide smile. Only Shangguan Yulin was seething in anger. He never thought Zhuo Fan was so skilled to make a Yuan Qi flame reach such heights. It was the miracle of a true underdog in making others look inadequate. Even he had to admit Zhuo Fan's control was out of this world, crushing the expert's reality, totally unaware that Zhuo Fan's so-called fancy control didn't exist to begin with. It was a hoax. His Yuan Qi flame stood taller than the rest because of the three mighty flames he had. Control had nothing to do with it. Chaos flame, decimating golden flame, and the dreaded thunder flame. These three were like emperors, housed in one body. While he only let out a Yuan Qi flame, it was backed up by the three emperors' aura. So how would the beast flames and heaven and earth spirit flames be so blind as to not bow before true power? It was akin to a 4-year-old girl sucking her lollipop, strutting cluelessly through a ghetto, under the greedy eyes of everyone around, but looking closely behind wee lass, they'd find a million-strong army. Who'd be dumb enough to touch her at this point? This wee and frail lass was Zhuo Fan's Yuanqi flame, while the army was the three mighty flames. Growling at the others to stay away, thugs could scare children, but scare the army behind them? That's a no-no, though. This was one secret only Zhuo Fan was privy to. While others were completely taken in by his guise of faux control, this way Zhuo Fan didn't have to use Azure Flame and scare off all the other flames when the Emperor came. His way was paved. And that would be showing off a tad too much for his liking. Chapter 876, Top. Chapter 876, Top. Proofreader, Papatonks. Cousin, I never knew you to have such skill. Shangwan Qingyan looked at Zhuo Fan, filled with admiration. Zhuo Fan had a smirk on, sticking out his chin. Ain't I awesome? Now, who was it? I wonder that said my alchemy sucks just a minute ago. Humph, since when did fire control equal being amazing in alchemy? Shangwan Qingyan blushed, sticking to her guts. Dad said radiant stage cultivators can't most become a 7th-grade alchemist. Now that it is a requirement for preliminaries, it remains to be seen if you can pass it. Zhuo Fan shook his head, muttering, aside from the harsh mandatory cultivation stage in alchemy, the core of it is secret arts and control. The last one being imperative to one's results. You and your dad are amateurs and don't know the details. But any alchemist worth his salt is clear on this. What do you guys say? Zhuo Fan turned to the crowd. Yes, yes. Everyone bobbed their heads, with one even speaking out. Miss, your cousin is right. The situation now proves just how frickin' important it is. Why else would we be standing here like this, waiting for them to finish? His colleagues nodded, sharing his pain, right? If these bums had Zhuo Fan's amazing control skill, they wouldn't be affected by other special flames and look so down. Shangwan Qingyan returned her eye to Zhuo Fan. But anything can be said when the actual results count. Isn't it all about speed? Say that again once you get into the top 10. Miss, you're being too hard on him. It's not so easy to achieve it in today's Pill King convention. Now it's such a tight competition. Since nothing could be done, these guys talked it out to soothe their worries. Your cousin has an insane control, but not on the level of a beast flame or heaven and earth spirit flame. It would be amazing if he makes it to the top 100. So you admit it. Control has little to do with actual refining. Grasping the excuse she wanted, Shangwan Qingyan laughed at her great wisdom, shrugging. The people only smiled. Miss, there's so many factors when it comes to alchemy. Control is just one of them. Whether or not your cousin will stand out would depend on his grasp of other aspects. Besides, while we have been debating here, the others have started already. Some are even close to finishing. I now stand corrected. It'd be a miracle if your cousin gets in a top 100. What? Shangwan Qingyan's startled eyes looked around, finding hundreds of special flames finishing refining the ingredients, with some of them wrapping up, while their side hadn't even begun. This sudden delay made her feel the pressure and grow angry. Don't just waste time with idle chat. Time's a-wastin'. The candidates shrugged with a plain look. It's not us chatting here, but young miss yapping on around your cousin. True, I have to give that to them. Zhuo Fan nodded. Have you come to help or hold me back? Shangwan Qingyan's face fell and glared with a pout. How can you say that? It's you who's wasting time, yet blame it on me. Look, they're almost done. Shangwan Qingyan pointed over to Shangwan Yulin, but then caught herself she at least had the mind to not expose their relationship. Zhuo Fan followed her finger and nodded. He sure is fast, though. Zhuo Fan returned to his blaze, throwing ingredients in it and beginning the process. Humph, feeling guilty. So you only start now. Shangwan Yulin smirked, seeing Zhuo Fan start at long last. He focused on his own flame then. As the pills were about to be finished, starting now will only get you north of 300. Shangwan Qingyan was feeling the pressure from all the other exuberant flames around. I hope the preliminaries won't kick too many out so you can squeeze in. Yeah, it'd be such a shame for brother to fail after having such amazing control. But that'll be hard. The crowd nodded, filled with sarcasm glaring at their audience. Shangwan Qingyan huffed, and stared tensely at her new cousin. Zhua Fan merely smirked, the blaze in his hand warping and readying to finish the pill. The others cried out, "Brother, what are you doing? You only got the ingredients in and have yet to refine them." If Zhua Fan doused his blaze, all the ingredients would turn to ash, a great carelessness for an alchemist. They thought that with Zhua Fan's control, he'd be a seasoned alchemist. Was he making such an elementary mistake to make up for lost time? But no amount of rushing is worth taking the foolish approach of ruining the pills. The judge up there clearly said the one to make a pill will qualify. But by failing to make the pill, it's all going down the drain. "Brother, are you touched in the head perhaps? What's wrong?" Shangguan Qingyan was clueless, though noticed the tense looks of the crowd. She guessed Zhua Fan might have done something he shouldn't. Zhua Fan beamed, his eyes focusing on the fire. "Nothing, they're just droning on. Ignore them." The blaze shrunk quickly, vanishing in moments under the incredulous eyes of his audience. Meng Feitian and Xue Dingxian were right now in a tight competition. They had rare heaven and earth spirit flames, with fires so hot that dyed the sky red. Old Xue, I'm just about done. The preliminaries are mine, just like before, ha ha ha. Humph, stop with the prancing. My pill is about done as well. We'll see who takes first soon. The two lifelong rivals fought with everything. But one thing was certain, they were both grandmasters and the wind could go either way. Bailey Jingwei stood on stage and nodded at the two oldies' rivalry, smiling to a guard. They're true alchemists, Old Ming and his junior brother. They're the only ones leading the round. The closest to them are still only halfway. Such disparity is incredible. They're sure to take the top 2 places in preliminaries. Well, of course, since Old Ming was an imperial family alchemist. His junior brother, Xue Dingxian, had been competing with him for decades, so of course he'd be outstanding as well. Those random alchemists around stand no chance. The guard nodded. Bailey Jingwei sighed, looking down somewhat. The main reason for this Pill King convention was to draw out the rats and take down Shangguan clan's thieves, but also to get some good seeds for the imperial capital. I didn't think it'd be so hard to go headhunting. Sword King Feiyun's domain only has Xue Dingxian worthy of attention. The others are subpar, lacking sorely by comparison with Old Ming. They don't deserve to enter the imperial capital. This only goes to show the Prime Minister's brilliant track record of recent years. Recruiting talent throughout the central area all this time has made them all be under Prime Minister now. Few are those remaining, making it hard to find such a commodity among the people. Ha ha ha, you sure have a slick tongue. The guard bowed and Bailey Jingwei patted his shoulder with a sigh. Maybe so. All I wish is for the Empire to be strong and use talents to their best. Old man, I'm almost there. This is my win. A laughter echoed, drawing looks. Meng Feitian held a shiny pill in hand, needing but to take away the flame to finish Xue Dingxian's pill was still lacking, needing but a few more moments to finish. Yet this was enough to settle a victor. Xue Dingxian shuddered in fury, but powerless to fight it. He watched Meng Feitian's revoltingly prideful face, with a smile going from ear to ear as the fire was doused to take the pill. Bailey Jingwei and the guard smiled. It's still Old Ming who won in the end, even if only by a hair. Ha ha, these old guys are funny. Boom! Meng Feitian's flame had yet to die out as an explosion rattled their heads. A drawn-out voice resounded. Sir, I'm done. Chapter 877 Doubt. Chapter 877 Doubt. Proofreader, Papatonks. What? Bailey Jingwei jerked and turned to the corner where Yuan Qi flames failed to even ignite, to go faster than Old Ming, an imperial family alchemist. Does that mean there's still a genius here? Meng Feitian shuddered at the sudden outburst and caused his attention to lapse, and the pill to be in danger of being ruined right at the end. No way. You're telling me this backwater city holds another talent than Xue Dingxian? Meng Feitian frowned, wrapping up his refining and ending up being the runner-up. Then he looked nervously where the shout came from. Xue Dingxian was startled as well, but then looked lost. As far as he knew, living in this area for so long, there was no other than his clan as real grandmasters in alchemy around these parts. Where did he come from then to be faster than us brothers? In the end, seeing was believing. Since he was close to finishing as well, he wrapped it up and finished third. Bailey Jingwei, Meng Feitian, and Xue Dingxian thus turned their dubious gazes to the speaker. The rest gasped in shock and stopped their refining, wanting to see what kind of outstanding, marvelous, and ridiculous being could outdo these two grandmasters. Prime Minister, sir, should I go and get to the bottom of this? A guard glanced at Bailey Jingwei and asked Bailey Jingwei, shook his head. No, since he took the lead in the preliminaries, I want to see him myself. If he's a true genius, I'll personally take him back to the imperial capital. But if he's a quack looking to make it big, I'll have to show my less kind side. Bailey Jingwei took large steps over, with Meng Feitian and Xue Dingxian rushing after 3 men and 1 guard, overcome by curiosity, made their way to where Zhuo Fan was, who still held his hand closed, who said he's done. Bailey Jingwei scanned the competitors, all fingers pointed at Zhuo Fan, out of fear of being put through the ringer as well. So they rushed to put some distance between them. Shangwan Qinyan gave him a reproachful look, then worried they all saw how quickly Zhuo Fan closed his fists moments after he dumped the ingredients into the blaze, no matter how one looked at it. It was a bust. That was why all figured him for a lunatic who had given up in despair, only to realize he's no lunatic, but a moron, a suicidal one. Well, he did close his fist just as the ingredients went in the fire, then shout out he was done, stealing the Grandmaster's thunder. This isn't your average friendly Pill King convention, where you can talk trash. It won't end with just a simple expulsion. Consequences are deadly in a competition held at a Sword King's manor. Declaring you've finished when the pill is obviously ruined. Are you toying with Sword King Feiyan? Your head is on the line here. Maybe there'd be some innocent bystanders who'd suffer as well from such crass transgression. So the same one who appreciated his talent and wanted to get close moments before made the sound judgment of keeping their distance and playing dumb. Shangwan Qinyan was hopeless in standing there, unable to escape. Why is he so crazy all of a sudden? Playing around with the flying cloud manor? That's a swift trip down under. A grin split Shangwan Yulin's face, enjoying the show. Moments ago, he was still mulling over how to use the manor to remove this thorn in his side. When lo and behold, the guy did it himself, and he didn't have to lift a finger. It sure saves me the trouble. He was feeling a sudden and uncontrollable need to cackle. Rotten punk, your day has come, ha. Bailey Jingwei figured it all out from the obvious looks and turned to Zhuo Fan. Was it you? Yes, sir. Zhuo Fan smiled. Bailey Jingwei sneered as he began. Brother, I've seen many cheats trying to catch my eye at the imperial capital, obsessed with fame and willing to do anything to gain status. I'm more than happy to cater for real talents, of course, but if there's one thing I hate, it's to have some clown think he can pull the wool over my eyes. Bailey Jingwei squinted. If you're some special talent, you could have approached me in trying to offer your services. But this is a pill competition, where results are judged on one's grasp of alchemy, not baiting me like this to showcase your value. Humph. In fact, even if you might be a fairly decent talent, I'll still only judge your action as a means to toy with me, and will have to enforce the rules of the competition upon you. Have I made myself clear? Crystal. Zhuo Fan nodded. Bailey Jingwei raised an eyebrow. This was rare, seeing one held his own under his rebuke. Bailey Jingwei had a whole new respect for him regardless. If Zhuo Fan put on a show, the result would be the same. No mercy. Bailey Jingwei patted Zhuo Fan's hand and warned, "This is your last chance. Are you really done?" "Of course," Zhuo Fan replied while he was nonplussed. The crowd was sweating bullets. Dude, learn when to quit. The other guy even took the time to explain the process while also giving you a way out. Plead guilty and you might walk. Why so adamant? Who here doesn't know just how done you are? The crowd lamented inwardly. Bailey Jingwei looked from the audience to him with a smile. I like your mentality the best, able to keep cool in my presence. But toying is still toying and would all be revealed in the end. Since you're so done with your pill, show it to me. I will be kind enough to give you one last chance. Walk away with your fist closed, and I'll ignore it. But this offer is gone the minute you pry open those fingers. Clutching his clothes, Shangwan Qinyan glared hard at the calm Zhuo Fan. Ha. Thank you, sir, for your kindness, but I'm not playing anything here. Zhuo Fan shook his head, his eyes shining as he opened his fist. Also, it's not my mentality that's great, but my clear conscience. Sir's question must have come after noticing the bystander's reaction. However, by definition, a bystander is a mere spectator, and their reaction isn't always to be trusted. A ripple spread from Zhuo Fan's hand, followed by a colorful aura and thick fragrance of medicine. The crowd felt their minds sharpen, their bodies livelier, making these alchemists immediately label the result as a top 7th grade pill whoosh. The pill had taken a life of its own as it hovered for a moment before shooting away. Meng Feitian made a sign, and the pill froze before bringing it to his hand. Feeling the warmth it gave off and the specific scent of a freshly baked pill, Meng Feitian rushed before Bailey Jingwei and gasped, "Young master, it's a newly refined top 7th grade pill. No mistake about it." "You mean to tell me the kid's random clinch ended up making a 7th grade pill?" But none was more shocked than the watching alchemists around Zhuo Fan. They saw with their own eyes how Zhuo Fan had done it, and that was precisely why reality gave them such a blow they couldn't get over. That actually works. Shangguan Qinyin was looking overwhelmed, filled with disbelief. Is alchemy that easy? Throw in some ingredients into the fire, then just grab it, and it's done? What about those other clans' alchemists, toiling day in day out around a cauldron to make pill after pill? Was a high-class act? He had no idea that this was all due to Zhuo Fan's unique skill in alchemy. Universe Palm, it was this very skill that helped him trample over those obnoxiously conceited alchemists and poach the best alchemist in Tianyu as his disciple. It was a supreme skill Zhuo Fan never shared. Bailey Jingwei looked from the pill to Zhuo Fan with an awkward gaze. He doubted Zhuo Fan at first because the circumstances made it so. The people around Zhuo Fan looked at him so. But the results were now in, and no matter how outrageous and unbelievable it was, he was a true alchemical master, faster than the ex-top 2 grandmasters in his capacity as prime minister. Bailey Jingwei was, nonetheless, also capable of respect and appreciation for his fellow man. He walked before him and bowed in apology. "I ask that Sir can overlook my rude remarks from before. Sir doesn't need to do that." Zhuo Fan grinned. Casually, Shangguan Yulin looked bleak, gnashing his teeth and seething on the inside. What the hell did the punk do? Those ingredients are supposed to be ashes? How is it a pill instead? Lucky bastard. Shangguan Yulin squinted and raged. Chapter 878, The Noose Titans. Chapter 878, The Noose Titans. Proofreader, Papatonks. Tracing the precious and still warm pill in his hand, Bailey Jingwei praised. Sir is a true grandmaster on the path of alchemy to have achieved such outstanding speed in refining. Sir's too kind. Zhuo Fan was humble. Bailey Jingwei bowed deeply. It is a glory deserving of Sir's talent. May I know Sir's name, where you come from and where you stay? I am Gu Yifan from Western Lands that has taken temporary refuge at the Gu residence. Oh, a newcomer to the central area? Welcome. Bailey Jingwei bowed again. The Sword Star Empire of the central area always appreciated talent. I believe Sir Gu will have a great chance to make something of yourself here. Thank you for the kind words. No, this is a fact. My Sword Star Empire will never neglect any talent. Bailey Jingwei bowed again and gestured. Sir Gu has not only come out first in preliminaries, but also passed the 2 grandmasters. The honor is yours. Please follow me. Bailey Jingwei led the way, with the guards flanking the sides and carving a path. Now, that was respect. Right there, Zhuo Fan nodded inside, more alert than ever. He sure knows how to cater to the people's feelings. Decisive when needed and respectful when required. There's nothing fake about him. Truly a man of character. Saying he was resourceful and shrew was an understatement. It was more appropriate to call him a genius mastermind. There's no way some steward of Sword King's manor acts like this. Zhuo Fan took a deep breath and followed. Shangguan Qinyin, next to him, woke up moments later and followed with a face flushed with pride. All that remained were just a few hundred envious alchemists watching the 2 go in front and be given such glory like honored guests of the royal family. but no one's envy could ever match Shangguan Yulin's, for God's sake. Here, I was eager to see his head roll, only to make a sudden recovery and take first place. He got to keep his head and get all the honor and glory. This is just absurd. I'm the main here, me, while you're just a backup. How are you better? Shangguan Yulin was filled with discontent, especially seeing Shangguan Qingyan looking so happy near Zhuo Fan. What was the week of hell even for? I can't even beat a meager 7th grade Radiant Stage weakling alchemist. He didn't like it at all and was not about to take it lying down. The rancor burned in his stare, his curses unspoken. Goo! Enjoy it while you can. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. A Radiant Stage alchemist like you, 7th grade, is the limit. Your shortcomings will be made painfully obvious in the second round, where your fall from grace will be met with harsh rebuttal. The hope of Shangguan clan getting into the manor still rests with me, and me alone. This isn't grievance, but confidence in my alchemy. Just you wait. Patting his bruised ego, Shangguan Yulin looked ashen as the flame in his hand finished the pill. The side alchemist found his expression baffling. Friend, buddy, what's up? If refining gets you pissed, how are you an alchemist? See that? That's Bailey Jingwei, knowing when to be resolute and conforming. The guy he just threatened is now being led like a guest of honor, the switch in treatment coming at the drop of the hat. In a dark corner, Shangguan Feiyun and Danxing Shun overlooked the competition. Shangguan Feiyun's eyes shone. I admit that I fall short in bearing when compared to this kid. He's definitely prime minister for a reason. Humph. Danxing Shun chugged another mouth of wine and chuckled. Ha ha. That's the whole point of being made prime minister. You think just about everyone is a skilled martial artist like us? What's wrong with being one? Isn't Sword Star Empire's ancestor, Invincible Sword, one as well? Without one, such as him, holding the nation, Sword Star Empire could never intimidate the other lands. I wouldn't have run off to the central area to become one of the 9 Sword Kings either. In the end, conquest is done with force, while pacification through guile. Sword Star Empire's power does come from the Invincible Sword, but there are some things we know too well. Danxing Shun's eyes flashed, staring at the smiling Bailey Jingwei. Sword Star Empire's power is half due to that man's efforts. Without Bailey Jingwei, Invincible Sword might be able to take the 4 lands all the same, but it would be a difficult undertaking. Now, though, the day looks awfully close. Shangguan Feiyun squinted and nodded. Central area has become stronger, and with the might of the 9 Sword Kings, the 4 lands have no chance. Bailey Jingwei's plan for years will soon come to pass. What's that guy doing here? Danxing Shun startled Shangguan Feiyun with his cry. He muttered confused. Now even Western lands is... Shangguan Feiyun asked, Old man, who are you talking about? No one. Got the wrong person. Danxing Shun blinked a couple of times, then shook his head with a chuckle. Though his grip on the wine jug was harder, his sharp eyes hid the unknown intent behind them. Reaching the very front, before the 2 grandmasters, Bailey Jingwei bowed to Zhuo Fan. Sir Gu is the best alchemist. Please stay here and allow me to witness Sir's remarkable skills. Sir's too kind. Zhuo Fan spoke. Bailey Jingwei nodded and went on stage to resume his watch over the other candidates, just that compared to the rest of the crowd. The top 3 were way too fast glancing at Zhuo Fan. Meng Feitian and his junior brother looked skeptical. It was hard for them to swallow the fact Zhuo Fan, at his age and cultivation, could refine faster than them. It was a kind of talent that was too outrageous to accept. Kid, whose mantle do you carry? Oh, it's my clan's inheritance. Ha! Zhuo Fan's bright reply came to Meng Feitian's cold and questioning tone. Meng Feitian knew his meaning and mocked. Fine, keep it to yourself. We don't care anyway. But let me tell you, we have strict demands on alchemy. Making anything but the best 7th grade pill will be an insult to ourselves and a disgrace to our master. While speed is of the essence, we have made perfect pills. So don't go getting a big head for being faster than us with just a top pill. Heh. Old Foggy's wasted so much time making some perfect pills. Shangguan Qingyan was quick to answer first with an annoyed glare. Zhuo Fan rushed to stop her. Seniors, Please forgive my ignorance. It just happened for me to be a bit faster this time. Don't mind it. If we did, we'd be the ones shaming ourselves for lowering to a kid's level. Meng Feitian didn't care, but some things he had to admit. Regardless of it being a top quality, you sure are young and promising to make it with such a cultivation and at that speed. The actions speak of your skills. One day you may even surpass us. Work hard, kid. Zhuo Fan cupped his hands. Thank you so much for your praise, senior. Ending it there, the two grandmasters ignored him, but as they shared a glance, they gave a sigh filled with mixed feelings. The new replaces the old. They felt threatened by the promising youth. It's the first time I see old Meng looking so lost. Bailey Jingwei watched their interaction with a smile. This proves Sir Gu is indeed a talent to get their approval. His cultivation may be lacking, but more than deserving of being groomed. The Pill King convention finally shows results. Getting me another talent, haha. The guard bowed from the side. Congratulations, sir. The Empire has gained another helper. Tone down the flattery. Bailey Jingwei waved him off. The other's refining is about to end. Get those bums without a flame out of here. Shangguan clan is the best in Eastern lands for a reason. There's no way they'll send a spy in with some lousy flame. Humph. Yes, Prime Minister is wise. The guard nodded and got to work. Chapter 879, Servant. Chapter 879, Servant. Proofreader, Papatonks. Hey, I didn't even start yet. What's the meaning of this? What can you refine when you can't even start your fire? Get lost. This isn't fair. How can we compete like this? It's not our fault the others have better flames. You can't do this to us. You're discriminating against us because of our average flames. Complaints, grumbles, and dissatisfaction echoed as the guards drove away the alchemists that had yet to start. It was not the guards' job to care about their problems. They had a task and proceeded to throw them out the front door. No amount of complaining worked, but if they resorted to force, the guards would cower them with their auras and bloodthirst. The outcome was obvious to any just by sensing it. Death, so they shuddered and fell silent, leaving after feeling abandoned. Peace was once again restored outside the manor. Bailey Jingwei was on stage, giving them a cold gaze. His respect had been used up on Zhuo Fan, and he had no more left to give to mere bugs. This was Bailey Jingwei, the Prime Minister of the Sword Star Empire. Always pragmatic, he was willing to bear any shame in pursuit of talents, even at the expense of his own pride as a Prime Minister. But when facing these extras that didn't make the cut, he found them an eyesore, offering no compassion or care. This was how any true official should be, calm and of good judge of character. Another group is eliminated. Zhuo Fan knew this guy was tightening the noose around them. It won't be long before he gets his rat. Zhuo Fan glanced by chance at Shangguan Yilin. Seeing his nose so high up after making a pill and the sheer disdain for the alchemists who had yet to start, going as far as enjoying to see them being kicked out, Zhuo Fan's face twitched and shook his head. What a fool, he's totally oblivious of the net closing in. Bailey Jingwei looked at the remaining candidates, around 500, while another 200 had been removed. He smiled. People, do you find my methods crude? A brilliant man such as Sir has done perfectly. The candidates cupped their hands and shouted. Zhuo Fan shook his head. These guys were the winners in this case. Since you kicked out their competition, they're more than accommodating. He's only asking to make this competition he's presiding over sound fair. I'm here holding a Pill King convention, not a job offer. Those that didn't make it failed to meet the standard. The Empire did not toy with them, or the Empire's prestige would take a hit. Bailey Jingwei nodded, finding it a bit lacking as he kept making excuses. All alchemists should strive their best in a competition. Joining such an event, especially an Empire-held one, they should realize the minimal requirements, especially when it came to one's flame. They should have been aware of the tight competition. Since they haven't yet come to join such an event, it proves you're not invested in it. Getting eliminated is only natural. Sir is right. They got what they deserved. One man bowed with a sneer on the spot. The rest followed, hailing the Prime Minister, like they were congratulating a politician for winning an election. Zhuo Fan, Meng Feitian, and Xue Dingxian were silent. They weren't against their ruling, but not about to debase themselves. This was an alchemist's self-respect all alchemists went from weak to strong, each having gone through using Yuan Qi flame at some point in their career. As for the special flame they had now, that was earned through harsh toils, it didn't fall on their laps. Only an alchemist knew another's plight. Towards those poor alchemists, trying to get a better flame was very hard, sometimes even deadly, but the flame did not mean one's skill sucked. By admitting this fact, it was the same as saying these remaining candidates sucked the same at one point in their alchemist career. This made some conscious alchemists aware of their value and not join the rear kissing. As for the rest of those toadies, screaming their lungs out, they were a disgrace as alchemists, pursuing this path for pocket change and ephemeral glory. Bailey Jingwei saw Zhuofan, and some abstained from being swallowed by the trend and approved of it while looking at the toadies. He only had disdain. They're nothing but expendable pawns. Bailey Jingwei smirked. Let the true preliminaries begin. The cheering died on the spot. Sir W, what was that? Haven't we been through preliminaries already? Of course not. You think the Pill King convention is that easy? Bailey Jingwei spoke. That was only meant to eliminate random elements slipping in. The true selection has only just begun. Bring their pills. Bailey Jingwei called his guards, sending them a couple of extra words before they entered the crowd to inspect their results. The 500 alchemists were sporting countless emotions: pride, anxiety, worry, fear. In an hour, the pills were brought back in 2 piles. The deciding factor of this split had nothing to do with the process involved or the quality. These piles had quality ranging from low to top as well. Bailey Jingwei scanned the 2 and pointed at one. Cast them out. Yes, sir. Bowing, the guards walked in a line towards the designated targets, hoisting them by the collar. They were easily carried off, though that didn't make it any easier to accept it. Wait. I made a top pill. Why are you throwing me out? There would always be one who whined, and this time was no exception. Someone then pointed at someone snickering. I refined faster than him, and with good quality. Why is her eliminating me as well? The guy jerked and shivered in fear. Looking tensely at Bailey Jingwei, he knew very well he was worse than some who were eliminated. But was her so nice enough to leave him out? He was by himself with joy of having been skipped, but someone telling on him filled him with hatred and worry, cursing the culprit to the heavens. Screw you. I got luck on my side, all right? What the hell are you dragging me down for? Bailey Jingwei ignored the complaint with a sneer. Because his pill's aura is thicker. How can you call it a spirit pill if it has no spiritual energy? Ugh, choking. The guy shuddered, but he still wasn't convinced. What do you know about alchemy? He used an 8th grade ingredient to make it so thick, but its quality is worse than mine. I used 7th grade ingredients and made it better. This shows my skill is better than his. The others bobbed their heads in total agreement. When did I say it's about skill here? Bailey Jingwei raised an eyebrow. Once you enter the imperial capital, you're to serve the imperial family. The first requirement isn't skill but determination to give your all. I didn't judge you on speed when you made the 7th grade pill, but being able to always refine to the best of your ability and speed, then I found that some of you only cared about showing off your skills while forgetting about my requirement. It's obvious you can make a pill faster with 8th grade ingredients, but you chose 7th grade. It's obvious you can make a top 7th grade pill with 8th grade ingredient. Please, your lord is the imperial family and doesn't need you to stint on ingredients and don't need to dazzle them with your skills. As long as you do your very best and are fast, nothing else matters. I'm throwing them out because they were holding back. Any other problem? Shuddering, the people fell silent. Bailey Jingwei didn't have a true requirement of an alchemist, but a bureaucratic one. To be a good servant, my character, livelihood, and my prideful skills aren't important here. I must first be a good and devoted servant to the Lord first. Wasn't this the whole point behind entering the imperial capital? Chapter 880, Reevaluation. Chapter 880, Reevaluation. Proofreader, Papatonks. The man shook his head, struggling out of the guard's grip as he sighed. I see. Thank you, sir, for the advice. I have failed to understand sir's wish. All my life, I've been in competition with my skills. only to finally find one where they aren't as needed. Haha, but it's fine. I'm eliminated now, but I'm happy about it. Goodbye, everyone, and good luck. He gave a bow and walked out with a smile. On his own 2 feet, and not thrown out, an alchemist had his dignity, seeing his back straight, even as he failed, and that smile, it was deeply ingrained in the others' minds. Having mixed feelings, sir, I forfeit. Someone stood up, bowing towards Bailey Jingwei. I'm not fit to join the imperial capital. It's best for me to be a free alchemist. Bailey Jingwei nodded. It all depends on yourself, and your wishes if you want to serve the empire. I won't impose on you. Thank you, sir. The man walked out more, and more people chose to walk away. While greed was widespread among them, there were still men of character that would choose to step down rather than betray their dignity and values before the second round even started. People were leaving en masse. Leaving, but 100 Shangwan Feiyun watched from a corner. Wasn't Bailey Jingwei the most admired official? It looks like his remarks today have repulsed many talents. He's not his usual wise self. Ha, Brother Feiyun, aren't you confused? You think this is really a Pill King convention? Dan Qing Shun squinted. Bailey Jingwei is searching for the Shangwan clan. Since those tough men left, it makes it easier to inspect the few remaining. In other words, anyone can leave, anyone but the Shangwan clan. Bailey Jingwei had figured this out, and that's why he's inciting them. Shangwan Feiyun eyed Dan Qing Shun. You mean Shangwan clansmen are among them? Isn't it possible that the pile he cast out includes some as well? No. Bailey Jingwei's actions are precise. We both know that. Dan Qing Shun took a deep breath. We might not know why he threw them out, but one thing's certain. The net is closing in, with Shangwan clan at its center. Shangwan Feiyun nodded. Bailey Jingwei, sagely statesman, has amazing control. Cousin, I've never seen a pill competition like this before. Pulling on Zhuo Fan's sleeve, Shangwan Qingyan looked hateful. Since she couldn't lash out, she had to share it with him since the great young Missy of Shangwan clan couldn't see Bailey Jingwei's machination. Nothing could be said about the rest of the alchemists. Of the 3 Shangwan clan spies, everyone else that stayed was without a doubt a cowardly and dishonorable alchemist, all going according to the guy's plan. Looking at the smug Shangwan Yulin, as if patting himself on the back for being selected to stay, Zhuo Fan shook his head. Is he really that blind to the tightening noose? He was among the rare ones who saw through Bailey Jingwei's reasoning Shangwan clan wasn't good at alchemy, and Shangwan Feiyun knew this. Having only been 10 short days from the announcement and the holding of the Pill King convention, getting a presentable alchemist ready in such a time was an illusion. Though more than enough for a pretender, this made the previous round focused on speed to be, in fact, a test to the mind alchemists trained for years and years, starting from scratch and mastering every kind of skill and recipe before advancing a grade. This solidified their base. This meant that a 6th grade alchemist could make any pill to that grade as long as he had the recipe, while a pretender, having gone through alchemy cram school, would never be able to make more than some average pill. In other words, he lacked the basics. His cultivation supported him to make 8th grade, but top 7th grade would be impossible still. Such was the case of Shangwan Yulin. Bailey Jingwei must have figured it out, asking for such vague requirements and hinting at speed. It was to force those sham alchemists to quickly refine the pill he wanted, quality aside. In this frantic race, when skills were lacking, cultivation made up for it along with high-grade ingredients. While a true alchemist had dignity and would not use anything better than a 7th grade ingredient for the same grade pill. This showed he was a 7th grade alchemist, as real as it got. Bailey Jingwei had them eliminated still, proving that no spy was among them. He was more interested in the shady alchemists. This was Bailey Jingwei's net. Though odds were only Zhuo Fan saw through it. All the others saw was a strange Pill King convention, as if tailored to the whims of their masters in the imperial capital, unaware that it was nothing but a trap to ferret out Shangwan clan spies. Zhuo Fan was now pondering a counter. Shangwan Yulin, the only pawn I can use. Should I throw him to the wolves? If he did toss him out, he'd come into the open as well. The question is, what kind of man is this guy? Looking for an instant result or a patient fisherman? Just how far will he go? Zhuo Fan knew the host was shrewd from all that had been going according to his plan, and not Shangwan Feiyun. Zhuo Fan had come to Flying Cloud City only 2 months ago. From Shangwan Feiyun's meticulous and forced search, it showed he was not a shrewd mind. Only 2 weeks ago was the competition announced, turning into a web. Unlike the previous method, this was a more subtle and ingenious trap. It was obvious that this guy only arrived in Flying Cloud City around that time. He had to be from the imperial capital and of equal power as Sword King Feiyun to take the main role in ordering the manor guards to his wishes. Zhuo Fan squinted as he was figuring Bailey Jingwei out. He was courteous, steady, decisive, and a man of action. His mind had to be broad and not after crumbs. He may not touch me even when I'm in front of him, or would drive away the real target, the Shangwan clan. I'll be safe until the two fight it out. This way I'll use it to my advantage, from the shadows and in the open, to gain victory. Finding the two's clash inevitable, Zhuo Fan sighed and showed a crooked smile. Haha, Shangwan Yulin, be good and stick out your head. You're in high demand, to be used by Shangwan Feiyun and Shangwan Feixiong. Everyone wants you. Shangwan Yulin felt a chilling breeze that sent a cold shiver down his spine. Who the hell is targeting me? Bailey Jingwei then spoke out. Congratulations, everyone. You've advanced to the second round. The topic will be, ha ha ha. I've yet to come up with one. Just for a fine. Ugh. The people looked at each other lost. This is too damn random. Just for a fine? What's the requirement then? What if you only accept 8th grade and cast out the 9th grade we make? How are we supposed to accept that? It's you who has the final say anyway. This competition is too weird. The candidates were stumped when one spoke up. Sir, please enlighten us about the entire process so as to avoid any mistakes. Ha ha ha, there isn't one. Just do your best. Bailey Jingwei smiled, but his vague grin puzzled them even more. Zhuo Fan's Yuan Chi flame soared just then, speaking casually. Didn't Sir tell you already? Do your best. Doesn't that mean you have to show what you're capable of? Zhuo Fan threw ingredients into his fire, and the others rushed to start as well. Unaware this was Bailey Jingwei's second attempt at ferreting Shangwan clan spies. Chapter 881, Dazzling. Chapter 881, Dazzling. Proofreader, Papatonks. What do you mean, do your best? Flames burned hotter in many eyes and in even more hands, revealing a very grave face. Zhuo Fan had solved their problem, but the meaning was very much eluding, still taking the words at face value. It meant just what Zhuo Fan said, to show just what they were made of by refining their very peak. But this is the second round. What would await them in the finals? If they went all out now, what would be tested then? Having gone through a weird requirement already, they reckoned going ahead with a few hidden cards was best, of course. That didn't mean making a weaker pill than before, or it wouldn't be their best. The candidates nodded and went in with some restraints, though making sure to do better than before. Besides, only great alchemists like them would know the truth. While outsiders were none the wiser to the deception, Bailey Jingwei eyed them with a smile. You'd best not play smart with me. While there are 3 rounds, but to select a true alchemist, there's no need for all of them. Oh, what do you mean, sir? The candidates jerked, having been found out. Bailey Jingwei had a wicked smirk. Sword King Feiyun is a busy man and doesn't have the time to waste on your drawn-out refining. Maybe in the last round he'll find you an eyesore. So the second round is your time to show your best. Miss it, and it'll be too late for regrets. An imperial capital alchemist is judged by aesthetics. The candidates were shocked then their skills would not be worth a lick in the last round, only judged by their fine traces or appalling visage. Bailey Jingwei shook his head. That isn't to say it will happen, but what if when you meet with the Sword King he'll judge your speech? Ha, who can say? With dark looks on their faces, the candidates sighed, feeling weirded out by these peculiarities in a competition. You're here looking for alchemists, not a pretty boy. What does skin have to do with any of this? Shangwan Feiyun was pissed, his face twitching. Blast it. Is he making a mockery out of me? Well, my name. Shangwan Feiyun cursed. The rotten punk is using my manner to say what he likes. When word gets out, they'll say I'm a queer with some depraved kink. How am I supposed to look people in the eye? Danqing Shun chuckled. Brother Feiyun, isn't Bailey Jingwei after Shangwan clan spies? With so many people, while the most will be swayed in not going through with this, only the spy will go all out. How is this supposed to single them out? How to judge? Shangwan Feiyun glared at the smiling guy. Danqing Shun paused, then shook his head. I don't know, but he must have a plan. We're best off watching with calmness. Fine, I'll wait. If in the end I don't see a single spy, he'll have to answer to me. Huffing, Shangwan Feiyun spat. Danqing Shun chuckled, looking at Zhuo Fan in front with a hard gaze. Boy, why are you here? Are you in on this as well? Who? While most candidates were in a quandary, the top three were refining. Like always, they didn't give a damn about Bailey Jingwei's ridiculous speech. All they had to do was do their best to showcase their skills and ignore everything. They had that much confidence in their skills that none could match. If there was one restriction across the whole wide world, that would be strength. No matter where you were, all was based on strength. Kid, a Yuan Qi flame still. Yeah, you sure are something to bring a Yuan Qi flame to such height. Meng Feitian and his junior brother were amazed with Zhuo Fan. Zhuo Fan shrugged. It's only good control. TCH, can control ignore the other flame's interference? We've been alchemists for too long to fall for you cheap tricks. The old men weren't duped like those amateurs, but they didn't push Zhuo Fan for his secret either. They knew alchemy had a rule, not to ask. Kid, we're both peak 9th grade alchemists with a rare 10th grade, sometimes refined. This time, I'm ready to challenge a 10th pill. What about you? You're not that weak, so what are you going to make? 8th or 9th grade? With your cultivation and speed, you can't be just an average 7th grade alchemist, but a rare 8th grade radiant stage alchemist. He truly outstanding. Kid, such a talent is amazing. Zhuo Fan eyed them in silence. The guy on stage clearly cherishes talent. Shangwan Yulin will be exposed soon. To make sure he'll go easy on me, I'll need to dazzle him. No choice but to show my hand. Zhuo Fan's eyes shone and smiled. Seniors, I plan on making an 11th grade. The two staggered at the sudden response, then gave him a mean look. Kid, we know you've got talent, and even thought about guiding you. Yet you mock us. Meng Feitian glared. Xue Dingxian cursed. We're really giving our all to challenge the 10th grade, and you're saying you'll go for 11th? If that ain't mockery, I don't know what is. Humph, rotten punk. We respect your talent, and you grow cocky with your seniors. Even with such a talent, your petty mind will hold you back. Seniors, you got all wrong. That's not it at all. Zip it. You're telling me you're going to make an 11th grade pill? Smiling, Meng Feitian was fuming. 8th grade is the limit for a radiant stage talent like you. 9th grade is impossible. If you were at our stage, maybe you might have a modicum chance of making an 11th grade. But certainly not now. Yes, impossible. You're clearly mocking us. Xue Dingxian stood, with Meng Feitian. Zhuo Fan shrugged, flinging spirit stones around to set up a bizarre array. The elders were taken aback. What are you up to now? This is alchemy, not arrays. Bailey Jingwei noticed a ruckus in front and looked curious. Family skill, pill array. With a mysterious smile, Zhuo Fan went through the gestures. I'm making an 11th grade pill without an array. It's a pain. Roar. Finishing one gesture, he pointed down, and a draconic roar echoed out. Zhuo Fan made another sign, and a Yuan Qi flame blended with the array. What followed were constant roars as 9 fire dragons took to the skies. The still stumped amateurs were looking shocked, lost for words. What is that? Isn't it supposed to be alchemy? Bailey Jingwei was intrigued. Eyes shining, Zhuo Fan looked coldly at the crowd and Bailey Jingwei. As he made another sign, it was time to reveal his worth. And to do that, a dazzling skill was required to knock them all off their feet. So much, so the host will feel pain just thinking of killing a genius like me. Zhuo Fan shouted, 9 dragons unite, pill amplification, roar. The 9 fire dragons clashed like how he did back in Tianyu. The medicine inside them combined with every clash. Chapter 882, Assured Entry. Chapter 882, Assured Entry. Proofreader, Papatonks. Bang. The fire dragons slammed into each other, making the boiling medicine flowing through them fly out and combine in mere moments. Zhuofan had done the impossible, refined the ingredients, combined them, and formed the pill as the last fire dragon slammed. Its fire slowly faded to reveal a round scarlet pool. Zhuofan was finished hum. The pill sent ripples around, burning as hot and bright as the sun itself. The audience basked in its aura with every release, filling their veins with power. This is an 11th grade pill. Meng Fei Qian and Xue Dingxian, the two grandmasters, were dumbstruck. All they could do was stand there like some fools, forking their jaws as their attention was robbed from the flames in their hands, their own refining ruined. The spectacle had blown their minds. The rest didn't fare any better, looking dazed and bug-eyed. You're telling me that grand display was alchemy? You can do that? Why haven't we heard it before? Shangguan Qinyan, next to Zhuofan, was just as overwhelmed. She didn't know, nor see, an alchemist being so flashy in his refining. Only Zhuofan could make something as insipid as alchemy into a show sure enough. Her eyes looked at him with a hazy gaze. He was an alchemist. She knew that from before, but not to this amazing extent, like all pills were in the palms of his hands, waiting to just open them to show to the world. Zhuofan made a sign, and the small sun fell in his palm as he declared, "Top 11th grade pill complete." Pa! Bailey Jingwei jerked so hard on the stage from his weak knees that he almost fell down. He ignored demeanor as he made a mad dash for Zhuofan and gently received the pill, scanning every side of this genuine 11th grade pill. Sergu. Bailey Jingwei's lips quivered, overwhelmed by the act and the result. He was seeing Zhuofan like a second father. His hands shaky, the guards were stunned. Being Bailey Jingwei's personal guard for many years, not once had they witnessed the wise prime minister lose his cool. Only before such an incredible alchemist did this man show such an absurd reaction. Bailey Jingwei grabbed Zhuofan's hands after reining in some of the excitement, and declared, "Sergu, you're a miracle. Now that you're an 11th grade alchemist, reaching the peak of 12th grade is only a matter of time. It's Western Land's loss for driving you away. But now that you're in the central area, it's truly great." Bailey Jingwei sounded a little crazed. His eyes teary. Zhuofan's eyes shook as well, for a different reason. This kid doesn't cherish talents. He loves him. If it was anything to go by, his poor life was safe when Shangguan clan's plan went bust. All that left was to incite the two camps into a war, so he could cast his line. Zhuofan grinned, certain that the fight would end up with him showing himself and coming out on top. "Sergu, please come on up. You are the undisputed king of this competition." With a flourish, Bailey Jingwei bowed and invited him up above all in this competition. Zhuofan waved his hands. "Sir, please, this is only the second round. It'll be up to the Sword King's decision in the final round. With Sir's glorious talent, Sword King Fiyun will definitely appreciate you." Bailey Jingwei was elated, smiling from ear to ear. Even throughout the central area, there are but a few 11th grade alchemists, even fewer of Sir's age. You're exactly the talent Sword Star Empire needs. In less than a century, Sir will become the best alchemist in the world. Your worth can't be measured. Zhuofan grinned inside. I got him so good, he starts praising me. He couldn't help feeling pride inside since the guy was so nice and imposing. He found it hard to even try to refuse. So he walked with Bailey Jingwei on stage. Under the revered gazes of the audience, Shangguan Qinyan was flush from the glory. Shangguan Yulan, though, was another story. Watching the situation taking the opposite turn he wished for, he was gnashing his teeth and howling inside. He was the main here, but then that sub turned out to slip into the enemy camp first. If he hesitated now, then he might be eliminated. He could already see the scorn and piercing looks as he dragged his feet back to the clan. How would everyone else see him then? The fake nephew ended up being better than the real thing. How would his uncle take it? No, I have to do it better than him. There's only one way to kick him off his high horse and into his grave, to let the manor kill him for me. But before that, he had to get in himself. Shangguan Yulan ignored everything as he focused his all on the burning flame in hand. He threw 10th grade ingredients one after the other, swearing to make his best pill, yet the candidates around stared stunned. I say, what's got into you, brothers? Why is every refining you guys do akin to a duel? What's your beef with this pill anyway? The men didn't care much anyway. With Zhuofan having given them a goal to reach, and seeing Bailey Jingwei's reaction, they knew the second round was based on pill grade. They started their own process then, throwing in the best ingredients they had in hope of passing. The two grandmasters were dumbstruck for a long time now. Then their eyes looked complicated. Wait, Grandmaster Gu? The mere making of an 11th grade pill had upended their view of Zhuofan. Also obvious how he was better than them, Zhuofan smiled at the two. What is it, seniors? Do you have any more advice? We'd never be so presumptuous as to be Grandmaster Gu seniors. The two were frantic and ashamed. Grandmaster Gu, has Sir made the 11th grade pill with your own 11th grade ingredients? Zhuofan raised an eyebrow, but shook his head. Why would I? With the manor giving us ingredients. Why should I pay out of my pocket? But the highest grade the manor offered was 10th. What of it? Zhuofan chuckled, putting on the airs of an ascendant. All herbs have spirits. In a right match, their grade will rise, while in a poor one, it will fall. My pill array drew on the world's energy to integrate the spiritual nature of the ingredients. So why can't it make an 11th grade pill with 10th grade ingredients? Why can't it? The two were too lost for words. Isn't that convenient to you? Why can't it? To you it's easy, but others didn't even think of it. In fact, this is unheard of. Sir Gu's talent is not just that of an alchemist, but of a grandmaster among grandmasters. To make it sound so easy, he's truly the pinnacle of his generation. The two bowed heavily and walked. Bailey Jingwei asked, Grandmasters, where are you going? We don't deserve that title. The two sighed. We now realize that there's always someone better out there. We lack training. We'll be entering seclusion and study upon alchemy. Fame and glory is not for us. We hope the next time we come out, we'll be able to catch up a bit to Grandmaster Gu. The two laughed and sighed. Old man, should we still compete? What competition? Since we're both lacking, are we to see who sucks the most? True, competing now sounds like a joke. Haha. Watching their backs, Bailey Jingwei took a deep breath. Was it something I said? Is that why the two grandmasters are leaving? Faking innocence, Zhuofan turned to Bailey Jingwei. Bailey Jingwei smiled and bowed. Sir's amazing talent has opened their eyes. I've never seen old Meng look so carefree. Sir's talent has turned the two grandmasters into believers, into making them cast away fame and wealth, returning to their pure fascination with alchemy. I'm sure that decades later the two grandmasters will be even more amazing. Chapter 883, Closing the Net. Chapter 883, Closing the Net. Proofreader, Papatonks. To think the fake Pill King convention ended up helping Bailey Jingwei draw in another talent. From afar, Shangwan Fein clicked his tongue. This grandmaster skill is truly out of this world, and so young too. He has such ability with alchemy, despite his poor cultivation. Even I can't help but cherish such a gem. In a couple of centuries, this man will become the best in the world. We definitely struck gold, roping him in. What do you think, old man? Danxing Shun merely nodded, no longer concerning himself as to what drove Zhuofan to come here. See, cousin, do you think there's someone else who will pass? Shangwan Qingyan stood next to Zhuofan on stage and glanced at Shangwan Yulin to bring up the main who he planned on using for his own plans. But that was way too obvious, and hinted at their connection. Zhuofan thus played deaf, though not out of fear of being found out, since it was all part of his plan, but out of worry that his value would drop to Bailey Jingwei. Coming out to recommend now is truly idiotic. Though Zhuofan was not so keen on doing it, Shangwan Qingyan was all for it. Shangwan Qingyan glared at silence and pointed at Shangwan Yulin, faking wisdom. Cousin, don't you think that person is quite good? Nah, just plain average. Zhuofan didn't bother. Even looking, Shangwan Qingyan was annoyed, giving him the stink eye. Zhuofan tried playing it cool, but Bailey Jingwei's interest was spiked at her words. Bailey Jingwei looked over with sharp eyes and grinned. Ha! Grandmaster Gu must have such high standards. That man's refining is good, quite good. Bailey Jingwei sounded off, but the sound of alarm didn't sound in Shangwan Qingyan then, still thinking he took the bait, and went on. See, Sir Sarite. His alchemy must be great. Aha, Mrs. Too kind. It's not that I have good eyesight, it's Grandmaster Gu's high standards. To the two of us, he may be great, but Grandmaster Gu has a different worldview. Can he pass? Unable to contain her need to know the result, Shangwan Qingyan asked. Bailey Jingwei squinted, then beamed. Does Miss know him? Oh no. How could I know him? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. It's fine either way. Since Miss finds him great, I'll keep my eye on him. Really? Shangwan Qingyan was giddy. Bailey Jingwei nodded with a most vague smile. Sure, Mrs. Grandmaster Gu's cousin and must have good eyes. I'll keep Miss Thought in mind. Thank you. Shangwan Qingyan had a bright smile, then raised a taunting and smug eyebrow at Zhuo Fan. See that, I got cousin in as well. Humph. You just don't know how to use your new status now that the host thinks so highly of you. Zhuo Fan shook his head, sighing inside. Dumb girl. He has a sharp mind filled with suspicions. Since you're so open in your recommendation, of course he's going to eye him. Only not for the same reasons. He's looking at him like a spy, and you just serve your cousin on a silver platter. Not like it changes anything. It's all part of the plan. At least I didn't do it and drop my value. If I did it, once Shangwan Yulin is found out, the host will think my mind is lacking and will see me with different eyes than now. Thanks for taking the blame for me, girl. Ha ha. Snickering inside, Zhuo Fan avoided Shangwan Qingyan's gaze on purpose. Why are you looking away? You don't find my act helpful. 3 hours slowly passed like grains of sand in an hourglass. Bailey Jingwei saw most had finished their pills and called for the guards to take them. Especially Shangwan Yulin's, he had no clue what was between Zhuo Fan and Shangwan Qingyan, but just like Zhuo Fan reckoned, Shangwan Qingyan leaked her intentions. This had him pay attention to this recommendation. Also, he didn't miss anything. The guards placed the pills in 2 piles. One had low and average qualities, while ranging from 7th to 9th grade. The other had top pills, and from the luster and form, it was easy to tell they were seasoned alchemists. Bailey Jingwei had not one drop of interest in them. Waving it away, the guards caught his drift, going into the crowd and grabbing the candidates to kick them out. Hey, what gives? I made a top 8th grade pill. Why are you throwing me out? Yeah, why is my top 9th grade pill a fail too? What the hell? Why is a 7th grade a pass, but my great 8th grade is not enough? The people were rowdy and annoyed at the judgment. Bailey Jingwei didn't feel like making excuses at this moment, having them taken away before saying, I said to give your best, so congratulations. You did it, while they did not. Roar. They cheered, having won the round. Shangwan Yulin was also clenching his fists, patting himself on the back for a refining well done. Shangwan Qingyan couldn't help but give Zhuo Fan a look of triumph. This way both spies are in. Only Zhuo Fan knew the ins and out, his mouth forming a thin smile. After the second round, 50 men were taken away, leaving only 34 screening. These many was far easier. Watching the ecstatic winners, Bailey Jingwei sighed, finally bringing this charade to an end. Time to close the net. Haha, people, come with me. We'll be holding the final round before Sword King Feiyun. Bailey Jingwei smiled and walked behind the manor. The others rushed in excitement. A guard blocked Zhuo Fan from going as well. Bowing, Sir Gu, please wait. You don't have to join them. Yes, Sir Gu, your talent makes you the undisputed pill king. You don't have to waste time on more tests. Bailey Jingwei smiled at his puzzled look. If Sir finds himself bored, I can ask the guard to give you a tour around the premises. I'll be with you in a moment and enjoy some drinks. Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow, feigning ignorance, but I thought of seeing Sword King Feiyun. I can't. No. Sword King Feiyun will see you in person momentarily, rest assured. Please have a little patience, Sir Gu. Bailey Jingwei cupped his hands and led the others. All the candidates gave him looks of envy. He just got first spot in 1 pill, even skipping the final round. Sword King himself will be seeing him. He'll be sure to enjoy all the glory and wealth of the imperial capital, lavishing in the power the new status will bring him. It was envy in its most unadulterated form. This was all due to his strength. If they made an 11th grade pill, they'd be beside him. While envy was envy, those with hatred were far fewer, though including Shangwan Yulin, of course. In his mind, he was the main of this undercover operation, only to be beset by setbacks the moment he came here. He'd been ignored and thrown into obscurity, while Zhuo Fan had an eye-catching performance, getting in the enemy's good graces. With all the honors, in fact, Shangwan Yulin gave Zhuo Fan a death stare. His teeth crunching, Zhuo Fan chuckled, pulling Shangwan Qingyin's soft hand as he said to a guard, "It's my first time here. May I look around?" "Of course, Sir Gu. I'll show Sir around." As an honored guest of the Prime Minister, the guard knew to show respect. Shangwan Qinyin got dragged away by Zhuo Fan, but she did give Shangwan Yulin one last look and gesture. "Do your best." Face twitching, he only saw his cousin being taken by another man. His best was the last thing on his mind right now, though he only had this final round to go through before he enjoyed Zhuo Fan's treatment in the enemy's base. He'd have plenty of chances to finish off Zhuo Fan. Then, with none the wiser, Shangwan Yulin squinted and walked on with bloodthirst. Shangwan Feiyun glanced at Dan Xingshun. "Come, time to close the net. I'm curious to see if Bailey Jingwei caught anything." "Huh." Chapter 884. Perfect. Chapter 884. Perfect. Proofreader, Papatonks. The remaining candidates followed Bailey Jingwei behind the manor, to a wide clearing that had 3 high seats carved meticulously for wood. The only seat taken was the main one, by a middle-aged man in lavish clothes and of imposing demeanor. Shangwan Feiyun among the candidates. Only Shangwan Yulin knew Sword King Feiyun. Recognizing him, the youth was instantly on guard. Shangwan Feiyun had left Eastern Land a century ago, but the younger generation had the benefit of the clan holding the portrait of this best in Eastern Land's expert. Revealing it before this job, Shangwan Yulin's heart hammered his chest, his brow soaked. "Shangwan Feiyun, why aren't I seeing Dragon, Cleaving Sword King around?" Bailey Jingwei asked, seeing the empty chair next to him. "He Sword King Feiyun." The candidates went into a bow on the spot. "Greetings, Sword King Feiyun. May you always know glory." Ignoring all of them, he glanced at Bailey Jingwei. Brother Danxing doesn't like crowds and is walking around the manor. He won't be joining this hearing. "Oh, what a shame." Bailey Jingwei sat next to Shangwan Feiyun under the candidates' dumbstruck gazes. His eyes shone as he spoke. "The play is finally starting, huh?" Shuddering, the hearts of others sank. They were stunned and puzzled at Bailey Jingwei's demeanor. Who is he? Isn't he a steward of Flying Cloud Manor? Out of the question. No steward will be this rude to Sword King, daring to sit right next to the Lord himself. Then how else could he control the manor's forces? The candidates were shocked at Bailey Jingwei's young age. Who was he to stand next to the Sword King? Shangwan Feiyun grinned and pointed at him. "You still haven't figured it out? Your host so far is our Imperial Prime Minister, Sir Bailey Jingwei." The Prime Minister himself? It was as if a bomb was dropped, with everyone shaking in the aftermath. The great Prime Minister of the Empire, the Imperial family's key figure, had actually graced this competition with his presence that meant passing it would make one Prime Minister's man. One get all the glory and power he could ever want in an instant. Everyone got fired up, eyes burning with excitement. Shangwan Yulin was the most shocked of them all. Bailey Jingwei's fame had been widespread even before he came to the Sword Star Empire, an immense talent in governing. Of sharp mind, and with ingenious plans, word went around that he was the wisest in the Sword Star Empire. The Four Lands powers knew the Sword Star Empire only reached such height all thanks to power correlated with politics. Invincible Sword held the power, and Bailey Jingwei's foolproof policies wielded politics, while less known than Invincible Sword. As if to conceal this sage's ability, the Four Lands were sure Bailey Jingwei's intellect had given Invincible Sword wings to spread his power. The same Bailey Jingwei was now before them, giving this competition a whole new value. Is this a trap? Shangwan Yulin felt like crying. If he'd known Bailey Jingwei was here, Shangwan would have stayed put and missed this rare chance of ambush. This was the power Bailey Jingwei wielded, that of the mind. One wrong step, and it was curtains for any that crossed his path. Scanning their reverent gazes, Bailey Jingwei remained silent. Shangwan Yulin's tense look caught his eye the longest, but then he shook his head. That miss pointed out one suspicious man. From his appearance, I sense fear. A guilty conscience is more like it. Ha ha ha. Grinning, Bailey Jingwei said, "You're all here in the finals, handpicked by me. This must make you Grandmaster Alchemists. Then, you must all grasp this chance and refine what I ask of you. Please guide us, Prime Minister." The people bowed in excitement. "Prime Minister's man, Prime Minister's man." Bailey Jingwei snickered. "The goal is perfection. What does that mean?" They were all stumped. Why have all of the Prime Minister's requirements been so weird? We can't make sense of it. Bailey Jingwei dispensed with the mystery, explaining, "You've refined the highest grade you could in the last round. Some were average 9th grade, others inferior 8th grade. This time, I want you to make me a perfect pill to test just how exquisite your skills are. I want to see a flawless pill. Grade is secondary, as long as you make a perfect pill of that grade. Understand?" "Yes, we shall follow Prime Minister's instructions." The candidates cupped their hands and confidence surged in their eyes. Making a high-quality pill by dropping a grade couldn't be easier, especially compared to the hasty way the last round was held. This was a test of their basics, to see how well they mastered them. For a pretender like Shangwan Yulin, who went through hell last week, the topic had him stuck. His pill's grade was all due to his cultivation and some super-secret refining arts. Oh, and don't forget top ingredients. As for top and perfect pills, this test in alchemist skill, control, sharpness, and familiarity of the art, he'd be exposed in seconds. Since he was no professional at this job, his eyes darted around for a way out, only to find Soul Harmony stage guards covering all bases. While Shangwan Feiyan was glaring from his perch the instant he fled, he was done, for he felt like sobbing. What damn rotten luck. I told them I didn't want it, but no, they had to send me. Now I'll never come back. Shangwan Yulin's face fell at the sordid fate awaiting him. He felt victimized. Though failure was quite nigh, he was thinking of any lifeline that he could grasp. Maybe they're holding a true Pill King convention, not a trap to ferret spies. Shangwan Yulin's mind cooked up a fantasy to avoid reality, praying that luck hadn't left him completely. Let me be eliminated and come out alive. At worst, he'd fail and Zhuo Fan get the credit. There's plenty of chances to get recognition. Must have patience. Unaware, his jittery and anxious attitude gave him away in Bailey Jingwei's eyes. This guy is shaking his boots. Bailey Jingwei said, "Begin." The flames were burning hot as the final started. Shangwan Yulin had to sigh and take out his flame as well. While the candidates gave their all one last time, Zhuo Fan and Shangwan Qingyan were cruising through the manor with a couple guards showing the way. "Brother, does the Grand Flying Cloud Manor only have these lame sceneries? So boring. Isn't there anything worth seeing here? A feast for eyes?" Zhuo Fan asked the guard. He had his own goals. Separate from Shangwan clans. The whirlwind tunnel. The guard frowned. So there's one. Come on. Can't you take me to it? Zhuo Fan was giddy at his reaction, thinking he scored. The views of Flying Cloud Manor must be spectacular. The guard shook his head. "Sir Gu, it is forbidden to go there. Only by Sword King's authorization can." "Forbidden? All the more reason." Zhuo Fan was thinking how to get past this problem when a very familiar voice sounded. "Leave. I'll take Grandmaster Gu to enjoy it." Chapter 885, Old Friend. Chapter 885, Old Friend. Proofreader, Papatonks. Shuddering, Zhuo Fan was rooted in place. Looking back, he saw a dry smile and a pair of teasing eyes. What the hell is Dan Xing doing here? Frowning hard, Zhuo Fan's heart was racing. This coot knows who I am. What am I supposed to do if he exposes me? The fact Dan Xing started off with Grandmaster Gu showed he had no intention of doing that. For now, at least, he breathed easier. Zhuo Fan calmed himself after that analysis. "Yes, Sword King, sir." The guards obeyed, leaving at once. Dan Xing held his beard, content that Zhuo Fan was here. But Shangwan Qingyan was stumped. "You're the Sword King, Shangwan Feiyan? You look nothing the part. So old, too." "Ugh." Dan Xing shook and chuckled. "Young miss, Central Area Swordstar Empire has 9 Sword Kings. Shangwan Feiyan isn't the only one. Ha ha ha. 9 Sword Kings. Then you're Dragon-Cleaving Sword King, Dan Xing. With a grin, Dragon-Cleaving Sword King announced himself. Shangwan Qingyan was frightened, her heart sinking. Why is there another Sword King in Flying Cloud City? It was bad enough dealing with Shangwan Feiyun, needing them to be very cautious, but now there was another one just like him around. Would their ambush work the second time? Shangwan Qingyan looked white as Paper Zhua Fan spoke in a way to ease her worries, but also get her to go away. Cousin, are you still angry? Can't you accept that you can't just waltz wherever? This is Flying Cloud Manor, not your backyard. Shangwan Qingyan squinted at him, only to see his look. Then he touched her cheek. Look at your pretty face. Being sour is ruining it. Shangwan Qingyan was enlightened. The sudden appearance of Dan Qingshun had her make weird faces, giving her away. Zhua Fan was watching her back, so, acting angry, she twisted away with a pout. Zhua Fan's warm touch lingered on her cheek, making her blush at once. Dan Qingshun raised an eyebrow, picking up on his meaning and chuckling. Ha! Young miss, don't be cross with Grandmaster Gu. I may be just another guest in the Flying Cloud Manor, but at least everyone knows to show respect. Look, take my token and you'll get to go wherever you want and stroll the manor how you like it, huh? Dan Qingshun took a metal brand, with the Dan character carved in it. Shangwan Qingyan peeked at Zhua Fan. Dragon, cleaving sword king cares for you. Go ahead, take it. Play around, but not go overboard. You better bring that token back in 1 hour. Zhua Fan looked like a big bro looking after his baby sister. Ruffling her hair, Shangwan Qingyan nodded and said thanks before leaving in joy. But she still took a glance behind at Zhua Fan to tell him to be careful he would be alone with the Sword King. Caution was a must-not that she needed to know Zhua Fan and this Sword King had met before. The third we'll hear was her. Also, why Zhua Fan found an excuse to get rid of her, and Dan Qingshun played along she wanted to stay. But the two worked together to get rid of the extra, though she didn't know that, and probably never would. Her thought was she might expose them with her reaction, so Zhua Fan had used this excuse to get her act together. Zhua Fan sighed, easing up. Dan Qingshun eyed him hard with amusement. What, is someone watching you? What makes you so sure, senior? Zhua Fan glanced with a chuckle. Dan Qingshun shook his head. How else do you explain finding an excuse to send her away? Ha ha ha, boy, you're still up to your old tricks. You shoot her while faking concern when you're using her for your own greed. Though you better watch out and not let greed be the end of you one of these days. Thanks for the compliment. That was a warning. Dan Qingshun's eyes flashed. The girl is from Shangwan clan? Better keep your distance. Oh, you know this too. Ah ha ha. The only one with the nerve to just waltz in here is Shangwan clan. Dan Qingshun spat. From the girl's attitude, I could tell she's hiding something. Bailey Jingwei would have singled her out with one look if it weren't for you covering for her. Zhua Fan gasped. You mean Sword Star Empire's wisest man, the Prime Minister Bailey Jingwei? He's here in Flying Cloud City too? Not just that, but the host of the Pill King Convention. Dan Qingshun smiled. You two have even met, and he looked quite eager to get you back to the imperial capital. Though he's quite suspicious in nature, and only if you're not a Shangwan clan spy. Zhua Fan paused and gasped, oh, it's that guy. I just knew his demeanor wasn't fit for a steward of the manor. So he's the prime minister. No wonder he's so familiar with Zhuge Chongfeng. Ah, you're still laughing? Dan Qingshun rolled his eyes and sighed. Kid, Bailey Jingwei is shrewd and sharp, capable of twisting the board and manipulating everything. You got lucky to fall under his radar, but he's bound to grow suspicious in a couple of days. That's when there'll be no escape from his sight. Zhua Fan nodded. I know that much. I've heard quite a lot about him ever since I came to the central area. He sure looks the part now that I saw him. Though it won't take nearly as long. In just a couple hours, he'll know who I am. Oh, my Gu name and connection with Shangwan clan. What? Dan Qingshun shuddered and cried out. In 2 hours? How are you so sure? Zhua Fan shrugged, because I saw how he closed the net. The Pill King Convention is only in name, as he found excuses to throw away the real alchemists and let the spies around. Oh, old Dan, did you know Shangwan clan sent 2 spies? I'm the sub while the main is in the net, awaiting capture. I reckon Bailey Jingwei will get him in 2 hours and, by extension, expose me. Why are you so calm? Dan Qingshun was stunned. Not even I can save you if Bailey Jingwei finds out about you. Zhuo Fan chuckled. Senior, I didn't know you cared so much. I'm truly touched. Who the hell would? It's because of our once friendly dealings. I just don't want you to come to an abrupt end, is all. Danqing Shun huffed. Zhuo Fan shook his head. Senior sides with me, I see. I'm relieved, ha ha ha. I just don't get what's going through that head of yours. I may side with you, but I have no say in this place. No worries, Senior. I'll be safe and sound. Grinning, Zhuo Fan said, I've already thought it out. Judging by his nature, Bailey Jingwei cherishes talent beyond question. I showed my hand just now to make him sorry about offing me. On top of that, me and the Shangwan clan met by chance, giving enough room to wiggle me out. So you tell me, will he still kill me? Danqing Shin huffed. Haha, you sure are confident. Bailey Jingwei is known to be harsh and decisive. One moment he's smiling, and the other he's a devil. Confidence can lead to conceit, falling right into his hands. Not likely. When killing someone, it is either out of emotion like strong hatred or having the grounds to do it. Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed all-knowingly. My excuse will be emotion, and if that is not enough to budge him, the logical reason he's using is to catch Shangwan clan. He wants the big fish, not just the spy. Getting the spy is only the first phase of his plan. And since he wants to use me, there's no need to spill blood. Haha. Squinting, Danqing Shin stared at him for long, then shook his head. You're as twisted as that Bailey Jingwei. What if he loses it and wants to kill you? What then? Then I'll be in Senior's care. Zhuo Fan paused and showed a crafty look and a sly smile. Chapter 886. 5 People. Chapter 886. 5 People. Proofreader, Papatonks. Startled, Danqing Shin pointed at his nose. Me? How am I to save you? Like I said, we're not that close, merely getting along. There's nothing to make me risk so much just for you. You know very well that behind me there's... Yeah, I know. I've been hearing things ever since I entered Central Area. Zhuo Fan shook his head. Old Dan fought with invincible sword, beaten and thrown down in merely 5 moves. Danqing Shuns glared at him. Is that how you see a duel of experts, a beatdown between thugs? Pretty much. That's its meaning, and that's how it spread. Thus, that's how I heard it. Zhuo Fans went stern the next second, but it's because of this fight that old Dan had to become one of the 9 sword kings of Sword Star Empire, dragon cleaving sword king. Behind you are countless innocent lives of your homeland. Old Dan is a kind man and won't want them to suffer. This is why the Sword Star Empire caught you. Danqing Shun's eyes shook and sighed in pain. I have long said, what was the point of being best in Western lands? You're still at another's whim in the Central Area. I'm glad I didn't take the vaulting sword with me, or Western lands would have been defenseless against the invincible sword. Maybe the whole Western lands would have rose up to get that divine weapon back like Shangwan clan did. Huh. Oh, by the way, why are you with the Shangwan clan? Have you come for the soaring sword as well? Danqing Shun's aged face looked mournful, but recovered soon after, giving Zhuo Fan a weird look. Zhuo Fan shook his head. It's just happened. My goal, and theirs differ. I'm not interested in the soaring sword. Ha. Shangwan clan's fate is of no concern to me either. It's good you're not tied with them, because the Shangwan clan is now stuck. Danqing Shun looked at the blazing sky, where the Pill King Convention's final round was being held. Shangwan Fiyun and Bailey Jingwei are working together, leaving no room for the Shangwan clan to escape this quagmire. Birds of a feather flock together. Drifting about, it's hard to find a familiar face. I've been coming to enjoy your friendship, Zhuo Fan, and I'd hate for anything to happen to you. Zhuo Fan stared at his honest look and nodded. I'll be all right. Then I'm relieved. Danqing Shun patted his shoulder. I came here to confirm whether you were in danger or not. But seeing you so confident shows me it's nothing. Just like back in Double Dragon Gathering, practicing what you preach with everything in the palm of your hand. But there will always be incidents, and when the time comes and you're in real danger, I'll do all I can to help you. Zhuo Fan grumbled, then whispered in his ear. Danqing Shun gasped. That can save you. It should. Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed, his smile oozing confidence. Though it'll hardly happen, haha. Meanwhile, in the clearing behind the manor, as the last towering flame was snuffed out, the candidates had finished their pill-making. The guard went first and placed the pills in 2 piles only this time. One was made up of top and perfect pills, shiny and smooth, evident of the alchemist's broad experience. 32 pills in total, while the other had average and low pills, with feeble aura and looking crude. Any untrained, I would call them amateur work, if not duds, and this pile came from only 5 people with a wide grin. Bailey Jingwei pointed at the 5 pills, cast them out, for sighed, and lamented their luck. While only one relaxed, Shangwan Yulin, cast out means I get to walk. There was no need for guards to lend a helping hand, as the 5 left by themselves. The remaining candidates watched on with glee at their misfortune. Useless. Vermin mixed with true alchemists like us should have been removed from the start. Bailey Jingwei waved, and the guards grabbed them before they get too far. Everyone jerked. Congratulations. You're the finalists welcomed to the imperial capital. Please wait in the parlor. Bailey Jingwei clasped his hands and gestured with a smile. The winners were ecstatic, cheerfully leaving with the guards, but not before giving the 5 losers one last taunting look. Bailey Jingwei turned to the 5 with a cold look. Shangwan Feiyun froze. Taking a casual sip of tea, Bailey Jingwei had a vague smile. People, do you know why I wanted you to stay? Please enlighten us, Prime Minister. They all shivered. Bailey Jingwei flicked his hand and threw their pills on the ground with disgust. You can make 8th grade pills, so why can't you even make a top 7th grade? The 5 looked at each other in silence. I'll tell you, it's because you don't have the basics of alchemy to the point you just crammed in over a short period of time. Shuddering, Shangwan Yulin was sweating buckets. Bailey Jingwei gave him a creepy smile. With the Crown Prince's serious situation, I'd understand if you made a lower grade, since all of it is based on one's basics. But your skills show you're posing as top alchemists, wanting to slink in. Getting you to heal the Crown Prince will be the same as harming him. Who'd be responsible? You have lied to me and lied to His Majesty. You deserve death. Prime Minister, spare us, please. We didn't mean to. With such a huge crime dumped on their heads, the 5 lost their reasoning, falling to their knees and pleading. Shangwan Yulin was scared to death, horror gripping his heart. He was a Shangwan clan spy, and getting killed because of this was a serious blow to his illustrious name. Bailey Jingwei grinned, giving Shangwan Feiyun a look. Shangwan Feiyun took a deep breath and said, Get up. Even though death should be your only reward, I'm willing to give you a chance. If you can answer one question of mine, I'll pardon you. Thank you, sir, thank you. The 5 bowed at once. Shangwan Feiyun muttered, then began. You might not know, but I've been hailed as a mighty talent since young. My power was outstanding, getting the attention of great experts from Eastern lands. I've always been the best among my peers, ultimately rising to become the best in Eastern lands. The 5 were baffled. Where's Sword King going with this? Where's the question? Sinking into his memoirs, Shangwan Feiyun had forgotten his audience. Despite outstanding and matchless, when it came to the clan head seat, Father was biased towards my elder brother, giving it to him and not me, saying something like my nature was skewed, detrimental to the clan. Humph, which expert isn't skewed? From that moment, I left the clan, taking another path, Shangwan clan branch. Yes, my bloodline is the true Shangwan clan, representing its true power. Would you say so? The 4 looked at each other lost. Is that the question? Ain't this too easy? Who didn't know to smooch another's rear? They did it all the time. They bobbed their heads. Yes, yes. It's good you realize it. Shangwan Feiyun said, Then let me ask you this. When a yearly memorial of our ancestors is held, how many incense are lit and how long will the washing last? They 5 were stumped. How the hell are we supposed to know about Shangwan clan's tradition? I bet not even the Eastern lands know. That's your affair, not outsiders. Is this a trick question, or what? Clueless as a newborn chick that this pardon wasn't for them, but for Shangwan clansmen. The question was given to avoid rash action and ruin everything for the spy also. The memorial of ancestors was a big thing in any clan. Shangwan Feiyun asked it so it fit his story And to make Shangguan clansmen easier to switch sides when a man was asked to betray, he was asked to forsake the clan, forsake one's ancestors. But by admitting it here, and now that you were a spy, you wouldn't be a traitor, just siding with another branch. Shangguan Feiyun was a big shot of the Shangguan clan in the end. Who was to say which branch was the true one and which one the fake? By using this cryptic logic with life and death hanging by a thread, it was the easiest to break the enemy's will. It was also a mind game cooked up by Bailey Jingwei, so the enemy had no way of noticing it. Sipping tea still, Bailey Jingwei's eyes glittered as he watched the five, especially the shaken-up Shangguan Yulin. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.